Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, December 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 62. Coming up on OTB, Holden Mayo joins the show at 9:15, and we have a new edition of Weekend Winners at 9 a.m. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? We are back. That's right. The boys are back.
The boys are back in town.
After a fun-filled week, that is Jake Hester, I'm T-Bob Baby. We got Mario and Taylor in here as well. Shout out Mario and Taylor holding it down while we were gone. Obviously, I was on vacation in Disney. Had a ton of fun. But if the school asked, my kid was sick all week. Look, don't ask any questions, okay? They were sick. You know, a lot of green snot. And then Jake got to do some really cool stuff. He went to Army-Navy this weekend and then got to watch Jayden Daniels win the Heisman. So we'll have Jake take us behind the scenes of what it's like going to a Heisman ceremony and what exactly goes on therein. But first, how's everyone doing today, guys? Good to see you fellas again. A bit like re-entering the atmosphere after a week in Disney, trying to reacclimate to normal life, but it was awesome as always.
Yeah, I mean, last week, it was fast for me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, holding down the show here, and then the boys took over on Thursday and Friday. Just a lot of travels, travels, as we'll get into. But glad to be back. Glad to have the full team, the full roster back here.
Mario, what's up, dude? How's yesterday's Saints game? Have your eyes stopped bleeding yet?
Yes. Win is a win, I suppose. We'll talk about it. Not the most entertaining game, but
not the most entertaining game.
Yeah.
That is putting it kindly.
Yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic, bro.
Unwatchable garbage is what would be more apt.
We had to interview Willie Roast's daughter on the Spanish broadcast, which was really cool. Yeah, one of the cooler moments of the season.
We should hit up Willie Roaf. I used to have him on the radio back in like the early days back in New Orleans.
God, he was like all we had for a long time.
Well, yeah. It's all we got. It's that all Key and Peele skit. It's all we got. All we got.
Yeah.
Taylor.
I don't even know if I want to go to him.
Look at that SHIT eating grin on that man's face right there. As Christmas comes around, it would appear that Taylor's been an extra good boy this year because football Santa Claus appears to be smiling at him as that lump of coal that he decried for years, Cole Prescott, is actually awesome and may win MVP. You don't deserve it, Taylor, but you're getting it anyway. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy this morning. Look, I'm going to have to write him an apology letter after this year. I've been very critical of him, but he's been awesome this year. I think that Mike McCarthy's put him in a really good situation, better situation than he's been in the last couple of years. He's thriving in that system. They look really good. It's not a terrible time to be a fan right now.
No. But it is going to make the fall that much sweeter.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Building the up just to trip up in the first round of the playoffs. I cannot freaking wait, dude. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, so look, we got a ton of NFL to get into. We'll start with Jayden Heisman talk, obviously. Have we completely squeezed all the juice out of Alabama getting back in the playoff? And we do that classic kind of stages of acceptance where at first you react with anger, eventually just becomes kind of, resigned acceptance because things are what they are, but just a farce that had me very upset on the trip on Sunday. How long did y'all spend on that last week?
I mean, obviously we spent some good time on it. It was the topic that was leading the college football news cycle. And, we obviously had some Heisman stuff that we wanted to hear locally in Baton Rouge. But I did see a lot of your minivan videos. You were not very happy about the way that it played out. We agreed. We agreed with you. We thought Florida State should have been in there as well. But
why play the games? You know?
Yeah.
Why play the games?
And my thing was, I mean, yes, all of that. You got 85 scholarship guys, and you're telling the other 84 players that they just don't matter.
The Jordan Travis tweet is what really shows you how absurd it all is. Like Booger was saying, making it a beauty pageant, whatever.
That team's won 19 straight games.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, what more do you want? And Boo Corrigan's legacy is, I mean, this is your legacy, just a black stain on the sport, Boo. So let's just go ahead and let me stretch out and get back into form here. More like Pooh Corrigan after this decision. I mean, am I right, boys?
Yeah.
All right. The opposite of fecal matter would be the unbelievable season that we got to witness out of Jayden Daniels, dude. And it comes to a close on Saturday. And a vote that was maybe surprisingly close with Michael Penix Jr. rocketing over Bo Nix, nearly catching Jayden Daniels for that Heisman. But in the end, and we can have an interesting conversation actually about how the voting broke out and how much quarterback wins matter. But in the end, wins didn't matter as much as Jayden Daniels' numbers. And we said it all year long, but he had to become, if he wanted to win this award with a completely inept defense, he had to become something extra normal, stellar, stupendous, a statistical outlier. And boys, you know what's one way to become a statistical outlier? Set a bunch of FBS records. And that's what Jayden Daniels did. The highest ever. A man last year who was accused of being a bad passer last season just set the record for the highest ever college quarterback rating in NCAA history. 208. 208. And if you look at the 131 quarterbacks in the FBS last year who attempted 150 or more passes, Jayden Daniels leads in pass efficiency, that's your quarterback rating, yards per attempt, so again, efficiency and explosivity combined, better than anybody else in the country. EPA added per dropback. All you need to understand about EPA, it's a single number that analytical guys use to just assign like how much positive value you're having, right? And that's all you need to know. Leading the country is great. It means the most effective quarterback in the entire country. And he led the country in completions of 20 yards or more. He scored 50 touchdowns in just 12 games. The only other players that have ever scored 50, Bryce Young, Joe Burrow, Cam Newton, Tim Tebow. Pretty good company. And then just in like, look, he's the first player in FBS history to have 12K passing, 3K rushing for a career. Okay, more FBS records. And just, you know, kind of re-bathing in the statistical opulence that was Jayden Daniels' season. I mean, who could remember the Florida game, boys? I mean, because that's really where this train got cranked up, in my opinion. But that Florida, 606 yards, 372 through the air, 234 on the ground, 5 total touchdowns. And once again, the only player in FBS history with 350 through the air and 200 on the ground in a single game. And Jake, I want to go to you now because I want to talk about what it was like actually being in that room, because watching on Saturday night, I could not help but be amazed at really thinking about what the last couple of years must have been like for Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, and like Vegas told us it was going to be Jayden Daniels, and so like I was really like confident that he was going to win the Heisman. Then I kind of went in the room, and there was some talk about Penix, and you know I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, we only really have the voters in our region that tell me they're voting for Jayden Daniels, and then I was like, is Michael Penix about to like find a way to win this deal? And I was talking to someone who had won the Heisman Trophy, so they have a vote. You know, he's like, I think all of us are going Penix. I'm like, are you messing with me right now, or is this like? And so like there was a little bit. I'll tell you.
Tim Tebow.
There's a little bit of doubt there, and so like going in confident, and then I was like, I'm a little nervous right now for him because now I can tell you. Obviously, I voted for Jayden on my Heisman ballot one, and I was like, are they going to find a way to take this away from him? But so I was glad, like as soon as his name was called, I was like, okay, they got it right.
Look, again, quarterback wins are not wholly valueless, right? But if you look at who the most unstoppable player in college football was this year, there's just no way to objectively choose anyone other than Jayden Daniels. Yeah. And Penix was awesome. So if the numbers are close, if Penix had maintained his statistical output they had at the beginning of the season and had the wins, then that becomes the deciding factor, okay?
Yeah.
But as nice as those wins are, Penix had a far better team. Put Jayden Daniels on that Washington team, I think he goes undefeated as well. You put that Washington defense in an LSU uniform and coach staff, everything else, I think there's a good chance that they, 11-1, 10-2 for sure. For sure. So, no, it's, it just, quarterback wins are a good tiebreaker, but it wasn't close.
No, and you said it. Like, you had to do everything that Jayden did for him to go out there and win the award, because when you look at the 3-loss Heisman winners, the Tim Tebow's, the Johnny Manziel's, the Lamar Jacksons, like that's who you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be so much better and polarizing than every other player that, you having 3 losses is not going to be the reason why you don't win the Heisman. So I think they got it right. I went same order that they went in. I went Daniels, Penix, Nix. And number 3 on me, on my ballot, was incredibly hard. Like, I was sitting there. There was a couple of different names. And no, I was not the person that voted Cody Schrader number 1.
Are we sure?
I got 15 text messages. Are you the guy that voted Schrader number 1 on your ballot? I'm like, no, I didn't. I took a picture. I'll show you. I'll prove you wrong during the break there, T-Bob. But I wish they would make these public. I wish they would say, okay, here's who we have as voters. Here's how they voted. Because if you voted that way, you feel strongly about the way that you voted.
True.
I would like to sit down and I would like to talk to the 20 individuals that gave Marvin Harrison Jr. a first-place vote in the Heisman Trophy race. I would love to have a conversation with them.
I mean, at that point, those are Ohio State fans or...
Yeah, then you shouldn't have a Heisman vote.
Well, but I mean, everybody who has a vote is a fan of someone, though, because generally they come from college football and they played for a team.
Sure.
And so you try to separate yourself from bias, but, And it also could be people thinking whatever. You can do all sort of mental gymnastics to justify anything. Again, somebody put Cody Schrader first, and Cody Schrader was awesome. Right? But I'm sure if you talk to that person, they would have some argument for, well, this is why what he meant, blah, 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 blah. Cody Schrader's got a good story, but Jayden Daniels has a good story. Deciding to come to LSU, reaching out to Brian Kelly and LSU, coming from the situation that he did where he burst onto the scene, then Arizona State just complete dysfunctional, had to be bad vibes everywhere, his career stalling out. He's kind of viewed as damaged goods. His teammates, did you see the guy accepting the speech? The humble, genuine, sincere man accepting the speech? Can you imagine, trashing his locker room on the way out? Because remember, that's what his Arizona State teammates did. And I find that especially crazy, again, now that you know his personality. But I thought his speech was grateful, humble, genuine. Had some really funny moments there. Talking about his dad wanting him to play corner. And so, now I'm playing quarterback. I think it's working out. Starting by thinking the O-line is always smart. I think there were some really good lessons about getting outside your comfort zone, kind of challenging yourself to grow and evolve, which obviously he did. And a really impressive job of everybody not crying for the most part, right? I don't know how him and his parents, if I was in that situation, I would not stand a chance. Not saying much for me, but still, just a fantastic.
I would have been the same way. I'd have been done.
Yeah, I was crying in the Bibbidi Bop Boutique on Saturday morning as my daughters are getting made into princesses. So if you put me in a Heisman room, I would not stand a chance.
Speaking of Jayden's mom, Regina Jackson, shout out. I found out that she is an OTB P1.
Oh, no way, dude. Okay.
Loves the show. I went to introduce myself to her. She goes, oh, T-Bob and Jake, I know y'all.
Oh, hell yeah.
So shout out to Miss
Nice,
Regina.
dude.
Probably not, maybe not this morning. Got a lot of things going on, but we appreciate you tuning in.
Okay, so there's a couple things I want to do after we go to break here. First off, I want to go inside the Heisman ceremony with Jake, what it's like being there, how it all works. Then I want to talk about a new technology that we kind of knew about, but The Athletic had a deeper dive than I had realized, and the timing on this stuff is very interesting. It's a new VR technology that Jayden used this year, but it's not the walkthrough. It's not exactly what you're thinking. Like, I did not know. You're going to be surprised on when he started to use this, how effective it was, and what it potentially means for the future. So we'll get into all of this next. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/1045ESPN. Hit the like button. Great to be back, and we'll see you on the other side.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
K2Z window coverings. It's KTOZblinds.com. KTOZblinds.com is the website. Get in touch with Brandon Barton. Take advantage of his 25 years of experience and get those window coverings that wow. You get that free professional estimate as Brandon comes out, looks at your situation, and decides or helps you reach a decision about what's going to be best. And this is aesthetically and functionally. So whether it's like an outdoor living space, a man cave, a theater room, a bedroom, a baby room, whatever it is, take it to the next level with K2Z window coverings.
Yeah, I am so excited. So, we customized what we had going on for our outdoor space, and they did all the measurements, got everything ready to go, matched the color to the colors of our house, and that is going up tomorrow. Hey. Cannot wait to share that with y'all. Very excited for it. And look, again, like we thought we needed like just a plain screen, like nothing. And like, no, the sunset's here. This is what you need. They're going to help you out, get you to that answer as well. K2ZBlinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Play ball, go to Six Rings camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The best.
Charles Hanniger, join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch. We are at Walk-Ons in Brewley, wrapping up the weekend and the Heisman Trophy. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. So Jake, Patrick Vine's chat says, Stokes for Jayden, here to once again submit my apology form. I believe most of them overly mocked the host of the show and said anyone who mentioned Daniels and Heisman, they were delusional, I believe. To be clear, I can't pretend that I thought that he would ever do this. Like I said, there was a lot of reason to hope for improvement.
I don't think you could say that you thought anybody would do what he did this year.
No, I mean, that's fair. Just from a purely statistical standpoint, yes.
FBS.
But I would have never fathomed my wildest dreams that we would spend an entire offseason talking about, he has such clear areas to improve on that, like, he should be able to. But jumping from 7 yards per attempt to basically 12 yards per attempt?
Yeah. I
mean, we're talking about nearly 100%, like nearly doubling your productivity there. No, like that. No. I mean, maybe 7 to 10. So like going from last year to now being the highest rated passer in college football history. No, that's beyond anybody's wildest speculation.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody will ever be the highest rated passer in the history of college football and also lead in yards per rush.
Yeah, true.
Ever again.
True.
I'm not sure that will ever happen. If they do, it will be because they don't have the pass attempts to meet whatever number you got to get to, because it's probably going to be like somebody from Army or Navy. So, all those things that we're talking about. And shout out to the LSU creative team for the campaign they put together.
Yeah.
For like really getting the word out and not backing down, just going after people. I mean, putting the billboard in Las Vegas when they're about to play the Pac-12 championship game, like all the things that they did. And also like the stats that they kind of put together and the charts that they put together to give everyone else, like obviously like we know those because that's our job. That's what we have to do. We have to know where Jayden Daniels is. But I talked to so many people, and it was really at the SEC championship game, T. They're like, I had no idea that A, B, and C and how much better he was at A, B, and C than the other quarterbacks.
Yeah, the one Cody Worsham chart is the real diamond, I think, in that instance, where it's one that you texted to the group, and then I just tweeted out there, not really thinking about who it came from originally, and it went wild on mine, it went wild on Cody. The point is, like, yes, that's a great point. If you're going to win as statistical outlier, having easy to read data, just at a glance, that helps a lot, and that's exactly what LSU Creative did for Jayden Daniels. What they didn't do, LSU that is give him a defense. And I'm not going to spend too long being negative here, but it is impossible for me to separate a bit of frustration when you really think about what you just witnessed. Having a quarterback that's literally done all these things that have never been done in college football history, and you pair that man with the run support or a lack thereof of what this defense was, ranking in the hundreds in major statistical categories, being last in the Power 5 for much of the season and things like stop rate. It's inexcusable, and it's ridiculous, and it has to get fixed. Because, like we said, the foundation's been laid now. This is 2 years into the Brian Kelly era. Year 3 is supposed to be the big jump, and you're going to be losing a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and it appears that you're retaining, at least for the time being, that you are retaining the staff that you had last year. So, good luck. Didn't work out for USC. Maybe this will be different. I mean, we've talked about there are some reasons to maybe believe that it would be. But, still makes me angry thinking about it. But today's the day for celebration.
Yeah, it does. And you can go back and you can reflect on the games and the plays that if you just had, and we talked about it all season long, like if you just were bad and not awful, you might be 11-1.
Yeah.
Like think about it, like honestly, like just a little bit better. You didn't have to have like Tyrann Mathieu and all these guys type defense out there flying around. Now, I would have loved to have that.
No, if you have that, I mean, you're pressing for a national championship.
If you just had like one of those guys, like you feel like you might be playing for a national championship.
Again, though, I think you had a couple of those guys. I think
Well, not to that level, but I understand what you're saying. Like you had guys that could have been put in a better situation to succeed better.
Yes, absolutely. You made Harold Perkins boring to watch. And he still actually had pretty good statistical output.
Yeah.
Even with you making him boring. I don't know, man. I am the Heisman has really just caused me to double down on a lot of my frustrations. And I feel very confident that despite all the personnel issues, that still how this defense was used was you always want to say, do I think, and this is a bit of opinion, but do I think a coach is raising a team relative to their talent level or dragging it down? I think the staff dragged it down, but whatever.
I mean, and Hootie inside the Value 4 chat does bring up a great point that we talk about, the situation that Greg Brooks is going through because, I mean, it's life is way more important than anything that we're ever going to do on a football field. But if you're looking at what you lost on the football field there as well, I mean, such a leader, got a lot of people organized back there, and like that's something you weren't expecting to do. So it was really a combination. The number one thing on the chart was the scheme and like the position that you put the players in, and then it goes to the execution of whatever the plan was.
Yeah.
Right. The execution of that kind of goes right underneath that, and then some of the guys that you lost, Mekhi Wingo, Greg Brooks, that goes probably number 3 on my list.
Yeah, look, you had major personnel issues. Like I'm not saying, but you still it's not last in the Power 5 bad. That's absurd.
Nobody could come up here and make that argument and make it make sense.
So anyway, whatever. Let's get back to being positive. Wait, so Jake, so you were at Army-Navy pregame. You do all that. You see all the pageantry, all the show. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you immediately board a train. You go to New York City for the Heisman ceremony. Jayden Daniels, like you said, there's a little tension in the air. Is he going to win? Won't he? He gets announced. Incredible. Second Heisman for LSU now in 5 years after going 50 years. Or I guess closer to 60 or 70 without one. And so then what happens after that? After the cameras stop rolling, we see the speech, everything else. They go to Marty Smith, and then what happens to you and all those incredible football players in that room?
All right, so after you win it, you're at a different location than where all of the press, like the press is at the Marriott Marquis, and they were closer. I believe the location was closer to Central Park. And so, like, after it happens, and then the media room, you're kind of, all right, let's go there, let's wait, because then you're going to have a press conference. Like, where people get to ask questions. And, obviously Baton Rouge had everybody there. Cobble and Jock and Scone was there, and, like, a bunch of people, obviously, from this area that were there to be at the press conference. And so you have that. It's not a very long press conference, but then they all come in, and Brian Kelly got up there, I think, for like 5 minutes after Jayden as well. But so I was there for SiriusXM, not for LSU. But obviously, I'm going to try to use those LSU ties and connections as much as I can. And so, and they were great. I mean, LSU hooked me up without question. And so I see Jayden walking off the stage, and he hadn't had a one-on-one interview yet. And in 2019, we got Joe right off the stage, but it was in a different room in that hotel. It was at a different ballroom, like across the way. It was a bigger room. There was like a side room. There wasn't a side room in this one. I'm like, oh man, where are we going to do this where we make it make sense? He doesn't get bombarded by other people, because we're trying, we're trying to get a one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so I see Jayden, and he comes over, says hello, whatever. I'm like, hey, what you doing right now? And he had like 4 minutes. I'm like, all right, hey, they're right there. We're going to sit down right outside these doors. And so, like, he's like, oh, absolutely, let's go. So we go, we sit right there and kind of hid away just a little bit and got a chance to, in 3 to 5 minutes, I don't even know. Maybe we can get that sound and we can play it here today. So I got a chance to sit down with him.
First sit down after winning the Heisman?
We got the first sit down with him one-on-one, like in just this random place in this hotel. And he was outstanding with his time, too. He was very gracious with his time. And then so after that, I think then he went and started to take some pictures with some different people. And then, oh, man, and I got videos of this, and Taylor, I'll send them to you. Then, like, everyone that was with LSU, like, we all went to Times Square with the trophy.
Oh,
now,
wow.
we did that, like, we did it with Joe, and it was kind of crazy, but it wasn't as packed. I've been to New York City during Christmas time. I have never seen it as packed as it was this time. And they had like a Santa Claus event where the whole city's wearing these Santa Claus hats. But so we go out to Times Square, and it is a madhouse. And his billboard is right there. It was very cool seeing
Yeah,
his
I saw
billboard's
that. I
right
saw
there.
some of the videos.
I mean, there's people like just mobs of people just like surrounding Jayden Daniels. He's taking the picture, with the billboard in the background, and it was a very cool moment. The chaotic energy in that moment was fantastic. And so you're doing that, and then you walk your way back and you do a couple things, and then LSU had a little get together for Jayden Daniels, which was really nice, and just to kind of chill out, celebrate with the people closest to you. But
does that have former Heisman winners in that room? Like, what do all those former Heisman winners do after?
So not at that one. That one is just for LSU people and the people that helped Jayden get to that point. And then there's like a Heisman situation back at the hotel where all the former Heisman winners can hang out, and anybody with them, and Jayden certainly can go up there and hang out.
Were you starstruck by any of the Heisman winners?
It's so not like starstruck, and what we get to do, we get a chance to interview a lot of these people, and it's fantastic. The one that's like, all right, man, I really grew up watching you, and like first kind of core football memories was Gino Torretta from Miami.
Yeah.
He wore 13. I wore 13 because of Dan Marino, but he wore 13. And like I remember watching them go against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl in the early 90s, and was probably one of my first football memories.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
So I'm like, man, Gino Torretta, like, gosh, I remember just thinking that, like, you were the coolest guy in the world. So I said hello to him and talked to him for about 5 minutes. It was kind of cool.
Nice. What about Teebs? Catch up with Timmy
I
Teebs?
did not, no.
Damn,
I did not.
dude.
I should have, like, so where I was staying, the workout facility was a story above us. If I would have gone there, he probably would have been.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good call. All right, when we get back here, let's dive into that new tech that I was teasing earlier, because I think it could potentially pay huge dividends for LSU in the future. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Another year nearly in the books here on OTB, and another year of being partnered with our wonderful friends at Central Plumbing. Another year of me calling Central Plumbing whenever I have a plumbing issue, of taking advantage of the flat rate pricing, the fact they're licensed, bond insured, sending you information about who's coming in your home ahead of time, the great warranty coverage, the 24/7 emergency service. Does not get any better. You have plumbing problems around the holidays, you want centralplumbing.org.
Don't worry, just because T-Bob's back in town doesn't mean that they can't get to your emergency. We might have said that it was a great time to call last week, but even though T-Bob is back in town, they still have the fleet ready to go. They got the van stacked up, so don't worry. 225-925-8552, 24/7 also means 365. Not only in emergencies, though, if you're looking to upgrade maybe your restroom at work, maybe your bathroom at home, whatever it might be, then come in and give you that consultation, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Saints and Panthers, and strike a pose, Jayden. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ooh, Merry Christmas, Christmas comes this time each year. Well, way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas that you've all been told. And a real famous cat all dressed up in red, and he spends the whole year working out in his sled. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. Just a little.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I just got hit with an idea for a video that I'll never make. But it's like a heavy metal remix of this, and it's about Nick Saban getting Alabama into the playoff. Instead of Run Run Reindeer, I don't know, like Run Run Committee. You know, you can work it out there, right? As Nick Saban worked his evil influence once again. All right, let's get into this tech that I was talking about. So, okay, chances are, if you listen to this show enough, or just paid to LSU enough, you probably heard about things like the walk-through room, right? We all know about that? Mm-hmm. Now, I feel like we've heard some things over the last few years of quarterbacks starting to use like VR headsets and stuff, right? I thought that was already going on at LSU. Well, when do you think it started?
I don't know, but halfway through the year, Kelly talked about Jayden using it. So
yes, so halfway through the year is interesting because it started literally the week of the Mississippi State game. So, but I guess the reason why I'm laying it out in this fashion is I thought it was a tech that kind of came, right? You tried it on, and it was like whatever, okay, it kind of went away, or it's just been going on in the background. I didn't realize that no, you're talking about a new. While there have been other VR setups that people have tried, LSU has actually partnered with these two guys from Germany and appears to be building a real potential game changer. Now, I'll get into details, but I talked to Marucci this week. I'm going to try it out sometime this week. So give you a little firsthand report back on how it works.
Field trip?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, literally. Yes. Yeah. We will do a field trip to go try it out. But, okay, so it's this company, Cognalize. And it's made by two Germans, Verena Krakow and Christian Hartmann. And so I guess
the first guy's got a real German name, Christian.
Yeah, Christian Hartmann.
Hartmann. There you go.
So they started this company for soccer, and then they kind of fell for football. Yeah. And they dove all in. And they came and they gave LSU a demo, essentially, right? LSU was struck by how fluid, kind of realistic, how effective the demo was. One of the people that did the demo was your director of innovation, Jack Marucci, former LSU trainer forever. Now, if you know about Marucci, you probably already know that He's hit it big before with something that he's made with his own hands,
Yes,
right?
he has.
This is a man who understands being ahead of the curve and what separates and whatnot. So he saw something in this technology. The Germans come and basically, oh, by the way, you know who did the meet cute, who set it all up? Greg Studrawa. How about that?
Stud.
Yeah, old Stud, former offensive line coach who's at Ohio State for years. He's now retired, living in Florida. Shout out Coach Stud. But yeah, so he called up LSU. He was like, bro, y'all gotta check this out. So they go down there, and Jack Marucci and analyst Mario Macaluso meet with these guys, and they tell them, we don't want you to leave. Or basically like, we want to work together. And so essentially they became partners.
Yeah.
In developing this technology, and Macaluso became what Jack said, like beta testers. And so they're going in there, and all through the summer and everything, they're saying, okay, they're going through like, okay, you know what'd be cool? Like, what if we did like opponent stadiums that were accurate, and like, okay, the play clocks are here and this or that. What if we did the different uniform combinations, blah, blah, blah. And so the Germans loved it. They continued to grind on it. They started adding their own things, like they called them Easter eggs, where they were watching film on their own time, seeing like how defensive backs moved and everything. And basically all these defensive players have a little AI system in them. And not true AI, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and so like they'll imitate at somewhat random to give it that real life feel. Like if a cornerback's going to press or something, or get up in a guy's face, like right before the snap, like they'll do these little touches, right? So they've been refining. And then the week of the Mississippi State game was the first time that he tried it. And I'll just read a paragraph from the Athletic article to let you know how it works. Quote, Macaluso pressed a specific play on the iPad and then said it aloud to Daniels. Tree right, hug Y Swift, Iowa cold flash Z stop. Macaluso then selected a specific defense, but did not inform Daniels of the defense he picked, so he would have to react to coverage movement in real time. Daniels received the snap, and the technology forced him to read out the plan in 1.7 seconds faster than game speed. The effect, trying back to Hartman's neuroscience study, is similar to a baseball player throwing a different size ball to train movement patterns. So you know how like you wear like weighted shoes, so you wear light shoes, you jump higher, anything like that, right? So they're going a little bit faster, so you're speeding up how quickly you're making these decisions. So he does it in the Mississippi State game. Obviously, he goes on to dominate the game, right? And the guys in Germany are they're ecstatic, blah blah blah. By the end of the year, he's using it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And before, I think it was before the last game of the season, Jack asked him, he's like, look, man, be honest with me. How much you feel like this really affected? Like, I don't need to hear any BS. Like, how much do you think this really affected you reading coverages and making decisions? And Jack said he was expecting an answer of like 5%, something like that. Jayden would go on to say 70 to 80%.
Yeah.
70 to 80. And this is a new and emerging technology with even more room for improvement, something that Jayden Daniels began to rely upon. And what's interesting, not to say correlation, causation, everything we always talk about, but think about the heater that he started to get on as the season went on. That statistical analysis combined with what he himself said with that 70, 80% quote, I believe that makes that a pretty exciting technology. And old Jack Marucci may have done it again. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett Nussmeier will now be the beneficiary of this phase of testing as he now has an entire offseason to work with this thing. And it's crazy because if you remember, I bought that game like NFL Red Zone on the Quest a couple of years ago. It's a cheap little facsimile of this. But like even doing that, I was like, oh, this is like kind of cool. Like I can get up here and be like, that's an over defense. There's the mic, yada, yada.
Yeah.
It's all very rudimentary and stiff and rigid and whatnot. But I was like, I could see how this would work. And, well, obviously it worked for Jayden Daniels. So I'm really excited to see where Cognilyze goes from here. And I'm excited to try it out. And we'll be able to report back. Apparently they're working on a O-line version now as well to help centers make calls and everything. They're working on a linebacker version for them as well.
Yeah, I was trying to think in my head like how a running back version of this would work because I would have loved to benefit from like on a zone run, like to feel the backside and to know when to cut it and know when to maybe bounce it outside. I think that could be beneficial.
And even pass pro, right?
Oh, without question, like inside leverage, how a guy rushes. If you could break it down to, hey, linebacker 58 for Florida, he rushes like this. This is his moves, and you have his moves. You have it, okay, 80% of the time he's outside move. The other 10% he's inside. The other 10 he's bull rush. and you could simulate that, that'd be incredible. That'd be a hell of a breakdown.
I don't want to.
But I think you can.
I think they did do some stuff like that. Yeah, like I think the Germans were actually watching film and players and trying to implement that sort of stuff. I don't know.
That would be the difference maker, because like what you're talking about with the Quest game that they had, like you're going to have, if it's cover 3, well, it's going to look like basic cover 3.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything special.
To your point, how a DB kind of plays cover 3, because everyone's going to do it a little bit different. If you can get close to that and you know the tendencies and you know, like if you get to a point where edge rusher, when he's got his, this foot up, he's doing this. When he's got that foot up, he's doing that. And you can find those things pretty easy on film. I mean, when I was a rookie, that's what I was in charge of. I was in charge of guys that we were going to pick up in pass protection, give me 3 tendencies that they have. And I had to find 3 for every single guy. And if you can get those tendencies and I could turn it into somebody, I mean, that's a game changer.
Well, and I mean, the shadow staff is there in college football, the NFL, and everything else nowadays. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be real interesting to watch where this technology goes, and we'll report back. We'll report back later this week. All right, when we get back, I'm going to close out the hour. One more on Jayden Daniels as we celebrate his Heisman, and then eventually we do have to talk New Orleans Saints and Derek Carr, who put together the most unwatchable 22-point win I've ever seen in my entire life. More OTB coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com. Bro, when I tell you that Sienna was loaded down with crap from Disney. I mean, first off, all the bags and accoutrements and strollers and everything that comes with taking 3 children under 5 to Disney World for a week. But then on the way back, I'm like, what the hell is all this stuff? I got freaking Little Mermaid bubble machines poking out of everywhere. And somehow that car still fit everything in it. So maybe the Sienna's for you, maybe a Tundra, but whatever. All I know is I am a repeat customer at All-Star Toyota, and I am deeply, deeply satisfied. You will be too. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Did you take the new one?
New one.
Okay. All right.
Bro, I told you, bro, that the thing, the gas mileage out of control.
That's true. That's
saving
true.
money. Like, it would have been like $1,600. Probably still like $80 on gas per trip. I mean, let's go.
Yeah, that dog will hunt, as they say, and you can go have that as well. Check out the website, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail.
It's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. All the recap and reaction from Heisman weekend in New York, and we'll recap Saints and Panthers. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Okay, I want to read a quote from Dane Brugler, who is the Athletics' lead NFL scout, writer, their lead draft guy. And this speaks to what we just talked about with Jayden's improvement, cognize everything, right? In the eyes of the NFL, no college prospect helped themselves more significantly this season than Jayden Daniels. And the Heisman Trophy feels like the cherry on top. His dual threat skills and ability to create explosive plays are traits that have NFL scouts excited. He accounted for an astounding 90 plays of 20-plus yards in 2023. His continued improvement in his decision-making and processing are why he appeared in the top 10 of my first mock draft, and NFL evaluators are running out of reasons why he can't be an impactful starter at the next level. Over the last 15 years, 10 Heisman winners were also top 10 picks in the NFL draft, and there may be 2 more this April with Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels. So again, what you saw this year, like this improvement is not fluky. It's not systematic. It is legitimate, great football that will translate to the next level. And it's one thing that I loved about his speech, Jake, when he talked about putting himself outside his comfort zone, right? Mm-hmm. They said I couldn't throw, I got better at it. They said I couldn't make decisions, I got better at it. They said I wasn't vocal enough. I got outside my comfort zone. I got better at it. And if I'm an evaluator, that sort of year-to-year commitment that it takes to take that leap is something that has me more excited than any of the physical traits. Because a lot of people can physically play at the next level. Not a lot of people have the mental makeup, the fortitude, the persistence, the work ethic, I think is what I was trying to find. A lot of people don't have the work ethic required to break through. Jayden Daniels proved to me beyond the shadow of a doubt this year that he does. And it's why I hope the Saints get a top 10 pick, and I hope the Saints spin it on him and let the chips fall where they may. But Jayden Daniels will be a very high draft pick come April.
I think he will, and I think he is somebody that if he goes down to Mobile, now I don't know if he's going to. He might not have to.
Yeah, I don't know if he has.
But just the way that he's kind of wired, he might want to go down there and just push for as high as he possibly can go. So I'm intrigued to see that because I think he actually would do really well in a setting like that, and he might, firmly put himself into the top 10. And so, we'll see. Obviously, that's a big decision. I asked him, and we'll play the audio later, kind of what was next. And he's like, I got a couple decisions that I have to make, and I'm sure that is one of them. But, he has firmly put himself – he's a first-rounder. Without question, he's now a first-rounder. Now it's how high can he go? Where can he put himself? Because the things that he did, the things that he improved on. Matt Miller, and we talked about this when you were out. Matt Miller is one of the guys I respect the most in the NFL draft circles. He said he's the best deep ball thrower in this class.
Wow.
How about that from a year ago where we were, said he's the best deep ball thrower in this class.
Just go look at some of the film. Go look at the A&M film. Go look at the A&M film with a Heisman on the line when him and the receivers took over at the end of the game, where he's placing those balls in the end zone.
Heisman on the line, your season, if it was going to be like a failure if you lost that game on the line.
Yeah, showing up in the biggest moments. All right, hour 2 coming up next. Talk a little Saints. Probably some more Jayden talk as well.
Off
Keep it
the
locked.
bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com, patientplusuc.com. It is that time of year. The weather's going all crazy. You may have some sniffles, cold, green snot, whatever the case may be, COVID, whatever. You go into Patient Plus, they're going to get you right, man. You need a little steroid shot, need some sort of testing, figure out exactly what's going on, get in and get better. Ask about the Patient Plus membership while you're in there. It's a great deal where you can pay all the year up front, you can pay monthly, but bottom line, if you go twice, you're already coming out ahead, and you get unlimited visits. There's a Patient Plus near you. Once you go there, you're like, oh my God, I see this is just a notch above the competition. Go to Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more information about becoming a member like T-Bob's been talking about for $20 a month, it is right there on the very top of that homepage at patientplusuc.com. Click Learn More, and you'll find out all that information. Go to the website today to schedule that appointment. Walk-ins always welcome. patientplusuc.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Monday, December 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 63. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners at 9 a.m. and Hold the Mayo joins the show at 9:15. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Hour number 2 of OTB. The boys are back in town. I hope everybody's having a great December season. This is that wonderful time of year where everybody's kind of got one foot out the door, doing the least amount of work possible, but you're also just kind of walking around a little extra pep in your step, feeling good. Saints game yesterday probably didn't make you feel too good. Jayden on Saturday did. There's one final thing on Jayden Daniels I don't want to talk about, and I can't find the comment anymore because so many of y'all are hanging out in there. That's great, but somebody was basically saying to her, like, man, I went back and watched Jayden highlights, and I kind of forgot just how much amazing stuff he did this year. And that is something that I find as well, is that, and it's different because both him and Joe did something where they made the extraordinary seem ordinary because they did it so consistently, right? But given that Joe's was tied into a national championship run and all of these other sorts of things, some of those moments maybe stick out in your brain more, whereas like you really almost have to be careful because you can take what you witness out of Jayden Daniels for granted because he did it so consistently. In the 90 plays of 20 yards or more, are you kidding me? It just that is something that we will all likely die before we ever see again. And that's not to be doom and gloom. That's just to be realistic. Again, this is something that's never been done before in college football history. And so don't let the just how easy he made it look take away from the legitimate greatness that you witnessed out of Jayden Daniels this season. Like, pinch yourself, take a moment and appreciate. And now you have a second Heisman winner in 5 years. It's something else you can recruit to, a transfer quarterback coming in here and absolutely thriving behind a great offensive line, which we'll talk portal a little bit later. Chances are that O-line may be getting even better through the portal. You know you're going to have great wide receivers at LSU. That much has been proven and then some over the last few years. And for Brian Kelly, it's something that he's never experienced before. And now he can recruit on that. So, I can get great quarterback play. I got a quarterback that won the Heisman. Now, I would guess if you talked to Coach Kelly at his, when he lays his head down at night and you get him being fully honest and open, there has to be an incredible amount of frustration that he's been doing this for, 4 decades or whatever. And this year, when he has the best single player he's ever had, he probably actually fields the worst, not probably, he fields the worst defense that he's ever had. But he's the one who has to figure out how to move forward with that. But Jayden Daniels was fantastic. He also had that great line in the he had that great line in his acceptance speeches. My receivers say they're like Waffle House. They're always open, which I love, not just because I love Waffle House. But I don't know if it's as good as what Jerry Glanville said about the old man back in the day, about the Cajun Cannon. He said, Bobby Hebert's tougher than a Waffle House steak. I always liked that one, dude. I thought that one was really good. At least I liked it more than what I witnessed yesterday out of your New Orleans Saints, as the Saints and Panthers combined to put together one of the most unwatchable games that you will ever see on an NFL field. So unwatchable, in fact, that it could simultaneously be competitively awful and yet not exciting at all. You couldn't even get a good finish down the stretch where your stomach was tight or anything. Yeah. You had to watch Derek Carr throw for 37 yards up until 8 minutes were left in the game. And then the Saints finished strong and they ended up winning 28-6. It was that was about as bad I've been someone this year who has tried to champion the enjoy the journey, a win's a win, this is the NFL, going to the playoffs is fun. That falls on deaf ears after a performance like yesterday. Like it's one of those. It's a worst fear win where you can clearly see how bad you are, yet you still notch a win. You hurt your draft status, but you also completely tear away at any idea that you could do something fun or exciting in the playoffs. Especially when you see teams like the Niners and the Eagles and the Cowboys floating around out there. So, I mean, look, I guess it was pretty fun watching Jimmy Graham make a couple plays.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Red zone struggles.
Yeah.
Fine.
So did Jimmy Graham. Turns out that'll work for you.
Sewell is a beast. The outside linebacker.
Yeah, he's played well last couple weeks.
Yeah, outside when Warner was hurt, he went down, and then yesterday on special teams makes an impact play. I've been impressed with him. I've been looking for positives as well. Trust me, week to week, and he was one of them going in.
How's that going? So Jimmy Graham was a positive. All right, so that's one. Sewell's the.
I mean,
the
I could watch
there.
DeMario Davis rush the passer all day, every day. The sack he had at the end of the game, which I granted, I know who knows who was still watching or cared or not, but the running back goes to cut him. He dives at Davis's legs. Davis allows himself to be cut and pulls like a werewolf. Like he lands on his hands and then kind of, you know how like when a werewolf runs, they like land on their hands and their back legs and they leap out again? Mm-hmm. Like he basically lets the running back just go underneath him, lands on his hands, back on his feet, and then gets Bryce Young. Like I could watch Mario Davis all day long. The offense, not so much.
Positives. Jordan Howden, who was really good at the beginning of the year, kind of disappeared a little bit in the middle portion. I thought he had a really good game yesterday, led the team in tackles, had a couple of plays in the backfield. That's a positive. That's a guy that you drafted. Again, had a really quick flash. And then, look, the NFL catches up to everybody, and then you have to make the adjustment.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see him maybe making that adjustment because there feels like there's some real value getting him that late in the draft because he's been a player that's been like starter value. And typically the first 3 rounds you're trying to get that. So if you get in the 4th, 5th, 6th round type area and you get a starter, that feels like real value.
Well, I know a lot of people were like, oh, you got A.T. Perry this late in the draft. Like, he's going to be the steal of the draft. Might be Jordan Howden. Yeah. I mean, there's people around the league talking like, look at this guy, like this young player. He's stepping in. He looks like a veteran already. That was a really good pick.
Yeah, I think both players, Howden way more than A.T. Perry, but Perry is playing pretty well. I mean, he played, probably a little less than half the snaps, maybe right at half the snaps, and I thought he had a couple of nice moments, like even without the ball.
And so I think Tyrann Mathieu probably said it best after the game. He said, quote, "You would hope a win like this could kind of help galvanize us and really continue to kind of push us forward. But obviously, that's not the Eagles. So you can't get too confident, right? So I think it's important for us to kind of keep working, keep trying to get better, keep trying to improve, because no disrespect to the Panthers, there's a bunch of teams out there that are much better. No disrespect."
No disrespect.
Pulling a little Ricky Bobby there.
Yeah, that's not the Eagles. The Panthers have more issues than Vogue. Bryce Young, 13 of 36, 137 yards, 3.8 yards per attempt, was sacked 4 times. And T-Bob, you have it here in your notes. Looks tiny.
My God, Bryce Young looks so small out there, dude. Every time he gets hit, I'm like,
well, you remember the pictures that came out of training camp, and everybody's like, oh, no, it's the camera angle. Like, he's not that small. No, he's that small.
He's a little fella.
Like, he's actually that
he's a
small.
tiny boy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a little fella.
Tiny lad.
God, I mean, in college, though, in the SEC, going against other giants, he would find a way to manipulate the pocket and find windows. I know the NFL is even obviously better than the SEC, but I thought we would see some of that from him. He looks lost. He looks like he has now.
He had flashes in the pocket, but ultimately it didn't. It didn't mount.
That's
to
been
much
a
of
big
anything.
surprise. I'm not saying that I thought he would be MVP or anything, but that's a surprise that he's struggling so bad.
And so when you see that quote from Tyrann Mathieu, it's not hard to see why. I mean, you gained 206 total yards. Again, it's always funny when things like this are pointed out, but as Mike Triplett wrote in New Orleans Football, Derek Carr had 37 yards passing with 8 minutes, 12 seconds left in the game. And this offensive line is not very good. Although I mean, I don't know.
No,
they're not good. They're not good at all. I was just going to say that at least
there's-
Andrus Peat has maybe stabilized something at left tackle
a
bit.
I'm glad you pointed that because I do need to be fair. I thought James Hurst played well yesterday. I thought McCoy played well yesterday. We don't know about Trevor Penning. He played 2 snaps, and so that's your first round pick
get
playing
in on jumbo
2
package.
snaps. I think it like he
Bro, if
like
you
he
can't
gets on
get in on jumbo when you're a first round pick. Are you kidding me?
He gets in on like jumbo plus maybe, like when you had as many as you possibly can. So they've been okay. Ramczyk didn't have a great day yesterday, and Cesar Ruiz continues to be.
I feel bad. He's like me out there. He's on the ground.
He's
all
bad.
the time.
He's
on the ground all the time. You can't be on the ground, dude. If you're on the ground in the NFL, you're not athletic enough. It's
and that's why
crazy.
I mean, I'm not trying to like throw shade at center, but maybe that's why he was a really good center at Michigan.
no doubt.
And he's protected by 2 guards, and you drafted him thinking he can make the change. That's not easy. Like I hate, it's a pet peeve of mine when people are like, oh, well, he did this, he can do that. It's like, no, every position in football is different. Left tackle to right tackle is different. There's a reason why we pay the left tackle. We don't pay the right tackle. And he's protecting the blind side, but also he's going against a dog and an edge rusher. Like every position is going to be different. Your footwork's going to be different. There's just so many things that are going to be different. And like him trying to play guard in the NFL, I would bet he's the lowest graded starting guard in the NFL.
Could we look that up actually?
Yeah, we can.
I'm sure we can.
Yesterday, by the way, in case you're wondering, 32.
And ultimately, though, I think the story of the New Orleans Saints and where they're at right now is told by the fans in the stands. I mean, Mario, you called that game. I saw a lot of images coming out of the Superdome. You could see it on the broadcast. It's a dead building.
Yeah, it was sleepy.
Tens of thousands of empty seats. Like you said, sleepy atmosphere, frustration boiling over. And to me, that should or will be the real death knell of the current regime, right? Because at this point, you're hurting the bottom line. And even if you say, the financial impact is indiscernible when you're talking about just raw ticket sales because the valuation of the team goes up and you're making money here or there. And I'm not a smart enough finance man to know whether or not that's the case. But even if that's your argument, I would say that, okay, well, you're doing brand damage. Beyond whatever you're losing in ticket sales, you're losing confidence in your fan base. And if you bring back these guys again, well, you will continue to lose said confidence. And as a consumer, what's the most powerful thing you can do? Vote with your wallet, with your actions. And that's exactly what Saints fans have decided to do. Now, normally that can be hard to do, right? Like, okay, I'm a consumer of college football. The committee choosing Alabama over Florida State disgusts me. Okay? They showed the great and powerful regular season of college football. No, it was just an old man behind the curtain, or in this case, a group of old men behind the curtain. It was all show. It was all pomp and circumstance and fake, right? But I'm obsessed with college football. I want to boycott the playoff. I can't boycott the playoff. Because I love college football. I don't want to see these games played. I want to watch Michigan versus Alabama and see if Jim Harbaugh and this team can overcome it. Like, I'm going to watch, okay? So I'm a sucker in this case. It appears that this Saints team, despite the deep love that the city and the Houdat Nation has for them, are so bad that they're actually making it easy for people to vote with their wallets and say, no, you know what? I have better things to do on this Sunday. I would rather stay at home and watch Red Zone. Or stay at home and watch all of the NFL, or go watch that new Godzilla movie, or go do this with my family, or whatever the case may be. And that ultimately, I think, speaks louder than any of the on-field frustration, the 3-game losing streak, any of the losses, losing to Josh Dobbs. If you lose to Tommy DeVito, nothing will hurt as bad as that empty stadium.
I agree with that. It's one of the best venues in the NFL. It is one of those, and we put this kind of, rarefied air as far as NFL stadiums that have a college feel. Superdome, when it's rocking, is one of those. I'd go Arrowhead, maybe in Seattle. Heinz Field was one of those, but I mean, it's not many. And the Superdome was in that class. And I understand the frustrations. Look, it takes a lot to take your family to any kind of major sporting event. Like it is a full day, and it costs a lot of money.
Yep.
And so all the things that you just said, T, do I want to pay to go watch that? I'd have a hard time advocating for it right now.
That's what I'm saying. And ultimately, look, I think that's how you let ownership know how you feel when you're a consumer. And I think we started to have the conversation, guys. And Dennis Allen was asked about this, and he got very defensive and didn't want to engage with it. But it is a legitimate line of questioning. Last year, Jameis Winston was benched for an accumulation of injuries, okay? We have had multiple defensive players in post-game interviews, I'm talking about opponents, defensive players, talk about how we know Derek Carr, if you get to Derek Carr, he gets rattled and he gets bad. So that was already the case. Now you have Derek Carr playing through a shoulder injury, multiple concussions. Apparently we learned after the game he's playing through 3 broken ribs right now, and you can feel that. So you had a guy who already gets antsy, who already was susceptible to pass rush, and now he's more terrified than ever, clearly, of getting hit. And so if you're going to bench Jameis Winston, and again, it's not like Carr can fall back on some great on-field success. This isn't Drew Brees playing through shattered ribs, poking into his lungs and everything else, but it's okay because Drew Brees is still out there making plays, winning games. Like, where is the justification for not at least letting Derek Carr just go get healthy? The exact same thing that you did with Jameis Winston last year. And you're going to tell me, oh, it's that you're paying him money? It's that you're doing this. He gives you the best chance to win? I don't know that I believe that. But yeah, he just looks, I don't know, man. He just looks absolutely terrified out there right now.
Yeah, and it's well said because already in the pocket, he did feel like he was antsy. Actually, Mario did a really good job of impersonating it during one of the breaks where he's bouncing around in the pocket. And now, like, he already didn't have belief that it was going to hold up, and he was ready to try to get out of the pocket as quick as he can. And once you get there, it's already bad, and you're not going to have a lot of success. But now, like T said, with the injuries, you can tell it's even more so. And so as an offensive lineman, and if we're going to be critical of them, we also need to point out when you don't know where the spot is as far as where your quarterback is going to be, well, then you don't know what to block for. Because if the spot is changing when it doesn't need to change, and then you get, a defensive player that all he got, has to do is roll to the outside and he gets a sack, there's nothing you can do. Like, if you're blocking because you think Derek Carr's in the pocket and everything's solidified, but he's jittery in the pocket and he rolls out too fast and there's a sack, that's not on the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
That's on Derek Carr. And so as bad as they have been, I shouldn't say that in the totality because I actually think that McCoy and Hurst have played much better than they started the season. Ramchek's been a little up and down, whatever. But also they're not getting a lot of help. And so that's a difficult situation for an offensive lineman that doesn't know what he's protecting.
Well, and you could see the frustration boil over.
Oh, yeah.
As Derek Carr and Eric McCoy getting into it, which, again, like, I don't want to make too much of it. When you're putting together that sort of offensive performance and you have a bunch of alpha males, of course, frustration is going to boil over. I was talking to my old man last night, and he was talking about how one time him and Bob Whitfield got into it. Like, Bob Whitfield was mad he didn't get selected for the Pro Bowl, but it's because, like, the Falcons weren't winning or whatever. And he's, like, playing off on the first quarter. My old man's, like, ready to fight him on the sideline. And he told Bob, he's like, look, man, you may whoop my ass, but you're in for a fight. Like, I'll bite your nuts off. Like, you want to do this right now? Cameras be down. I don't give a damn. Like, we gonna fight. And eventually they managed to calm down. So this stuff does happen. But and so I don't want to make too much of a deal of it. But there are cracks in this team. And and they're
Major
starting to
cracks,
show
I would
more and more.
say.
I mean, look at the quote from Tyron after the game. You got Mike Thomas now pretty consistently subtweeting Derek Carr and his performances. It's just bad vibes all over the place. Again, I don't know, regardless of, because now you're again tied for the lead in the NFC South at 6-7 with the Bucs and the Falcons. But I can't imagine that there is anything that this current regime could do to save to save themselves after what we have had to witness this season.
It's one of those positions that you're in right now where you're winning enough games to not have a great draft choice.
Yeah.
But you're bad enough to know that it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like purgatory.
And it's like, could you imagine, like, the biggest bummer will be if someone like Jayden Daniels ends up going somewhere else and he ends up becoming incredible. Can you imagine the cultural phenomenon that Jayden Daniels would be if he would end up in a Saints uniform? Like, you thought Michael Vick in Atlanta was tight? Wait until you get the LSU Heisman winner in the black and gold in New Orleans, a modern age dual threat guy that throws the best deep ball in the draft and led the country in yards per carry. I mean, that could be transformative. And so I'm here to say, dude, if you want to trade up, get Marcus Davenport or whoever else, if you're going to try to sell me on this idea that you won't give up research, you love trading up. And you're going to trade up for a quarterback? I'm going to tell you what I told Big Game Boomer. Eat my ass.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I know, top 100. Thank you, y'all. Thank
yes.
you. Yep.
And he said, T-Bob, I did not forget about
Finally
you.
made the list. Cracked it at 100. See, sometimes you got to be aggressive.
Yeah, you're
right.
right.
I'm trying the same thing now with Saints ownership and leadership. If you don't trade up for a first-round quarterback in this class, eat my ass. Because it's ridiculous that you should have to sit through another year of Derek Carr without at least hope on the horizon of a better future.
Well said.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked once.
It worked once. We'll see.
Let's see if it works.
We also
again.
spoke Zion into existence that one time.
You did.
So we'll see. We'll get to the midseason tournament and whether Mario's feelings have been even worsened after how it ended up playing out.
So can we play, like, not right now, obviously we got to go to break, but we need to play where, McCoy and Derek Carr did get into an altercation on the field, because I can kind of see both sides of the argument.
Let's get into it next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN. New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 56 years of allowing Corbell Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corbell Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Sandigrove, join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch. We are at Walk-Ons in Brewley, wrapping up the weekend and the Heisman Trophy. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Scott Dice, the Saints Jayden Daniels jersey sales would more than pay for his contract.
Oh my gosh.
It would be insane. It would be hope. It would mark the potential beginning of a new era. Right? It would be hope in the darkness, a light in the darkness. And I don't care. It's not to say it's going to work out. You never know how guys are going to translate to the league. But I'll be damned if I don't want him to take the risk. Again, you love trading up. You've spent so many resources on players that have not worked out, so many shots on players that have not worked out. Why not take a shot at a quarterback, at a fast riser who proves that he has otherworldly athletic ability combined with a work ethic that cannot be taught, right? That is not, and the ability to be present. Somebody mentioned earlier that Jayden Daniels talked about how his superpower was being in the moment. It was all very one snapping clear, where basically he doesn't let anything negative that happened affect him going forward.
One of the things on Wednesday that when Flynn was here that he said that I'm like, it's a really great point. Remember when Joe was going and doing things at LSU like he was doing, Flynn would always say, well, he's a Sunday guy playing on Saturdays. Like you can tell he's unlocked it and he's figured it out. And he said it's the same thing with Jayden.
Yep.
He said he's a Sunday guy right now that's playing against Saturday players because of his progressions and because of where he's placing the football. And so, like, he's ready right now, I think, to go and help an NFL team. Like, he could go suit up for the Saints next weekend and have some plays where I think he would be highly successful.
Oh, bro. I don't know if Pete Carmichael could scheme it up, but you should be able to scheme up some success for Jayden Daniels if you put him in.
But like
Sunday.
that just doesn't happen to every quarterback. Every top quarterback playing in college football hasn't unlocked that. There's things that you're looking for, and one of those things is going through your progression, keeping calm feet in the pocket, which Derek Carr's not doing right now. And like when that gets unlocked, then it really sets you up to have success fast in the NFL. If you continue to have that same work ethic and do the things that you have to do, like Bo Nix doesn't have it. No, I'm not throwing shade at Bo Nix. He doesn't have that. There's times where I don't think Caleb Williams has that just yet. Drake May doesn't have that just yet.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, Bo Nix is a day 2 pick in NFL scouts' minds. Michael Penix, I'm not exactly sure where he will end up falling, but it is clear now. What I'm going to be interested to see is how the evaluation breaks down between Drake May and Jayden Daniels.
Yep.
And again, yes, on Caleb Williams, but for whatever reason, it does seem like Caleb Williams is kind of, for now, we'll see. For now, long way to go yet.
8 weeks ago, it was he's Joe Burrow throwing the football, Lamar Jackson like getting away from the rush. We're like, wait, hold up, what? They've backed off of that a little bit. I think he is a unique player. I'll say that. I think he has some unique traits that not everybody has. and I think there's a place where he can be successful, but they've backed off of what they thought maybe it would be. Not to say he can't be some of those things, but it's a little different conversation.
Well, and like nobody thought you would be saying, oh, well, Jayden might be more NFL ready, but Jake, like all the points you just made are correct. Like Caleb Williams, at least this year, has not done a good job of going through his progression. You mentioned Jayden stepping up in the pocket. He's got the footwork. Like Caleb's been sloppy this year.
Well, so and that bears that becomes especially interesting because they both were having to overcome some of the same things.
Yeah.
Namely an awful
and Jayden
defense.
did a lot better job.
Yeah,
at
that's
it.
what I'm saying. It felt like Caleb was pressing the entire year, putting the ball into dangerous spots, trying to make too much happen, whereas Jayden much more played within himself, and then obviously to just a even better effect than did Caleb Williams. Now, in Williams' defense, I don't know much about the USC receiving core, but I don't think, I don't think there's a better combination than what Jayden Daniels had on the outside this year in Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors, who Malik Neighbors losing to Blitnikoff by 1 vote.
If we can
By
get there.
1 vote, Marvin Harrison Jr. edges out Malik Neighbors.
Did you guys see the guy? He I don't know who he works for. He's just some sports writer in Ohio. He was bragging about how he had a vote. He's like, Malik Neighbors loses by 1 vote. Here's why. And he put his ballot up, and he had Roma Dunze over Malik Neighbors, so he put Malik at 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you're voting like that and you're that biased and you're bragging about it, your vote should be taken away.
I know. I agree with you. Like I don't understand that. Like you're
yeah,
supposed
you at least if you're peeing on me, at least tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't just like that is a situation in which I would rather be gaslit. And you say, no, I genuinely believe that this was the case. Not I held this man back from winning because I wanted my guy to win.
Like when I put in my Heisman vote, like I put Penix at 2 because I thought he was the second best player in the country. Like that's what you're supposed to do. And some of these awards, I don't understand why you would slight somebody and put him in 3rd when at worst you would have him at 2nd, just so like he's not going
and then
to win
post about it and be like, hey, Ohio fans, look what I did for your guy.
And what an attaboy for doing it. There's people that I know have a Blitnikoff vote that said, hey, you know what? I voted for Marvin Harrison Jr. and I'm going to ask them when I see them in person next, hey, let's sit down. I want you to explain to me what went into the thought process and what made you do that.
It's making me angry because Malik's been cheated a couple ways now. That awful holding call that held him back from getting the LSU receiving yards record there in the final game, and now 1 vote away from being honored in the in the way that he deserved.
Hey, and now you know what? He won't have a plaque outside of the LSU locker room, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those things matter. Like he was going to be immortalized in forever inside of one of the best venues that sport is played in across the world. I don't care what anybody tells me. That place is special. He was going to have a plaque. It was going to say Blitnikoff Award winner, and he was going to be there forever. Yeah. And now those things, it won't be there. Just like with the Walter Camp All-American team. They went with Michael Penix as their first-team quarterback. So Jayden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner, will not be a unanimous All-American.
Didn't he win the Walter Camp?
Yeah, Jayden did.
But he's not the first-team All-American, I believe.
No, but I'm saying, but
Right.
he won the actual Walter Camp Award, and then they didn't put him as the first-team quarterback? What sort of sense does that make?
Makes no sense.
Like, what are we talking about? Then why did he win the award?
I'm going to double-check, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that he got left off. And so he won't be a unanimous All-American, right? He won't have a gold plaque over at Football Ops. It'll be, I believe it's gold for unanimous and silver for an All-American.
Yeah, but he did got out of Heisman, man.
Oh, I know. I mean, this is obviously like things that we're worried about. I don't know that he's really worried about it right now, but, those are things, and more so for Malik. Michael Penix Jr., Walter Camp, first-team offense quarterback. So he will not be a unanimous All-American. And those are things that, like, they matter. They matter. And certainly for Malik not to have a plaque outside because he didn't win the national, award that he should have.
Yeah, I guess the flip side of this is, trying to help like Penix's season not be lost to time, given that he led this Washington team on a really good undefeated run, and he was big in huge moments and whatnot. But again, like we said, it is self-evident that Jayden Daniels was the best player in the entire country this season. But I'm frustrated for Malik, though, because I do think he deserved the Blitnikoff, and that is, Yeah, I mean, look, Bilbo says the middle gymnastics people explaining why they voted is astounding. Lots of Blitnikoff voters based on the perceived NFL value. But, I mean, how far behind is Malik in perceived NFL value? I mean, I know they are saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. go like top 3, but I don't know. I can't separate my own bias, but I just feel like he statistically dominated Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. got taken out of games this year. Malik Neighbors did not.
Yeah, 4 games,
Ever.
Marvin Harrison Jr. And again, I feel like I have to say this because I want it to be known that I know he's a really good football player, going to play for a long time, but it is what it is. Like, the breakdown is the breakdown. And against Indiana, against Rutgers, against Notre Dame, against all these teams, Marvin Harrison Jr. had a very quiet day. And the quietest day that Malik Neighbors had, he had over 60 yards.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even close statistically. So we will, shout out Malik Neighbors. Still number 1 Blitnikoff winner in our heart, at least. All right, when we get back now, we got a bit distracted there. Let's dive into the McCoy Carr drama, get Jake's read on it, as Sharif Ishak from WDSU has a really good video on it. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com. Community Steel congratulating Jayden Daniels on winning the Heisman. And look, man, if you have any steel needs, you're a business or maybe something for personal use. You got like an RV or something that you want housed with a nice steel shed. You need some steel buildings for some reason. Look, it's all there in Gonzales, Louisiana at Community Steel. And the prices are really where they separate. They're disrupting the steel industry because there's no middlemen jacking up the price for you on the back end, okay? They buy directly from the wholesalers. They make everything right there on site. You can go check it out. Do the live and local sales team. Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com.
Yeah, when you go to that website, you will see that it is state-of-the-art, and they are ready to help you today here in this area. Metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, whatever it might be. Again, Gonzales, Louisiana. Not outside trying to bring it in. They are already here. Give them a call today for all of your steel needs, 225-647-2020.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Saints and Panthers, and strike a pose, Jayden. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. All right, let's get into the breakdown of the drama on the field for the Saints yesterday as Cesar Ruiz gave up a sack. This was this third quarter when this all went down? Anyway, the point is, it had been a very frustrating day for the offense. This sack happens, and as they're coming off the field, Carr starts to yell at Ruiz. Eric McCoy, sticking up for his boy. Basically, you're not going to show us up. Gets in Carr's face. They go at it. Of course, they're later seen sitting together on the sideline. But, Jake, what did you see here? This video comes from Sharif Ishak of WDSU. With a full breakdown of it. So Ruiz gets beat. Who was the protection? Was it the wrong protection? What exactly went wrong?
So that's what I'm wondering is like the mic declaration of like maybe who was pointed where. But like if we go back to the beginning of that video, it clearly looks like everyone else is blocking, their assignment, and it is Cesar Ruiz one-on-one. And he, has the cardinal sin of not getting beat inside and gets beat right now, sets too far out, and it is basically a clear path to Derek Carr. And so I don't know what the mic call was, but it looks like everybody else is blocked up. Maybe McCoy got mad because he called Cesar Ruiz out, but I can kind of see both sides here. Like, hey, save that. Don't show your guy up. But also, hey, Cesar, set inside. Like, don't allow him to have a free path to the quarterback, and I think you're seeing frustrations from both. You're seeing frustrations from Eric McCoy because he's like, hold up, Derek Carr. Hold up now. You want to play some of your plays that you've had over the last couple of weeks? And then for Derek Carr, he's like, hey, could you not allow him to come like straight through your gap and sack me and hit me in the backfield?
Yeah, no, look, the temptation is to solely point the finger at Derek Carr because everything is frustrating with him right now, and quarterback's always going to get majority credit, majority blame, all that sort of stuff. But no, Cesar Ruiz is in the wrong definitely from a blocking standpoint here. But McCoy's sticking up for his boy. And the other thing is, like, maybe what do you think about this? Like, again, I don't want to make too big of a deal of it because this is just, it is what it is. It's two alphas kind of getting mad at each other. It happens on a day like yesterday when everything is going so wrong and so bad, and you got an empty stadium and booze everywhere and just bad vibes, and that just adds to all of that badness. But it doesn't. I don't know. Am I reading too much in it to think that maybe there is a bit of fracturing among the teammates, some issues with Derek Carr, maybe specifically?
I would think so. I would think that there's frustrations across the board from multiple position groups. I don't think you can play like they've played over the last couple of weeks and not have some of that. And so when you do have that, it's on who to fix it. It's on the quarterback. The quarterback has the ear of everybody on the team, offense and defense, special teams, doesn't matter. Like, the quarterback is going to be your voice of reason. And when your quarterback's not playing well, and when he is, kind of getting after some of his teammates, and I understand it, but knowing that he's not playing well, well, then it really starts to fracture. And you can have Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu, these great leaders, and Cam Jordan to try to save as much as you can.
Yeah.
But think about the leadership of this team. It's all what? On the defensive side. And so, like, there's nobody right now on the offensive side that I would say is that guy that can kind of save it, because AK can be that guy at times, but it's not really his personality. So I wonder, like, now, who's that leader on the offensive side of the football that can be the guy to try to bridge all of those fracturing, gaping gaps now it feels like they have.
So that is the frustrating part, is that was one of the big selling points on Derek Carr, is that he was going to be that guy, right? Is that he came in and brought kind of like a gravitas to the quarterback position, during camp. It looked different. It felt different. He had the playbook on lock, all these sorts of things. But, hey, when the lights come on, the actual games have a way of revealing the true self. And unfortunately, as good as Derek Carr was in practice and during camp and everything, setting the tone and feeling like the leader and making the plays, it is not translated to game day. And that's ultimately when it matters. And so all of a sudden, all that practice stuff starts to feel like all bark and no bite. And that causes you to kind of lose faith. And then, when you have Carr kind of constantly making excuses or going after guys, well, yeah, that's going to lead to some frustration as well. And it's funny, he is getting more and more frustrated with our boy Nick Underhill. As Underhill asked a follow-up question on the Coy thing yesterday, and he said, look, I'm not going to get any more negativity with you, brother. So Derek Carr is, I don't know,
he feels like a big brother guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does when he's mad, and a passive-aggressive brother guy, not a Hulk, really calling you brother as like a way of like bringing you close. It's like calling somebody buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Unless you're Canadian, generally is not said with warmth. It's a precursor to fighting.
Yeah.
So it's, again, Cesar Ruiz has to be better, but clearly there are issues right now within the Saints. Though also, like, 37 yards and all that, everybody's going to be yelling at each other. 206 yards to the game against a one-win team in the NFL. Really, really bad. Really bad. But now you're tied for the division lead. Let's go. NFC South, 3 6-7 stalwarts battling it out for whoever's going to win the worst division in the NFL. All right.
Would have a home playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, can you win the division and still get a top 10 pick? That's what I want to see.
No, because then you get slotted.
So if you win the division, you do get slotted? Mm-hmm. It's not just your record at that point?
Yeah, you get slotted like of your exit of the playoffs in your record, yeah.
Ah, lame. I always thought it was just record. All right, when we get back, let's close out hour 2 of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. One more time, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. If you are looking for your next vehicle, whether you want something new, maybe you want to lease, maybe you want a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get that excellent warranty coverage, you want to go to All-Star, and it's the purchasing process that is one of the great ways in which they separate, Jake, in terms of getting you, what style, make, model of vehicle you're looking for, but also clearly explaining your different financing options, what level of warranty coverage you want, and all these other sorts of things. It's just been an absolute pleasure. I love the two Murdered Out Minis. I've now purchased from All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
Yeah, when you go to that website, we tell you about the new vehicles. Obviously, you can build it however you want it. You can take away, you can add, you can do whatever you want to do to that vehicle. But also, if you're looking to lease, if you're looking to rent, it is the place to go. Go to the website today. Find that vehicle for you at allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. All the recap and reaction from Heisman weekend in New York, and we'll recap Saints and Panthers. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. This hour brought to you by Skull Axe Throwing. That's right, GCAxe.com. Finally excited to be back, boys. Thursday night, going to go throw some axes, celebrate the holiday season. Go on out, look, you go to GCAxe.com, use the promo code EARLYBIRD right now. You get 20% off. So you like beer, bar food, axes, you're going to love it. The date night, girls night, boys night, corporate events, team building. It's the best. GCAxe.com, open awfully right next to Mike Anderson's. We got weekend winners coming up next as we close out this hour. Shout out Tulane, man. Shout out Tulane. We'll get to that during winners. I think they made a good hire.
I made a hell of a hire.
They made a very good hire. Here's some funny food for thought. The NFC South will host either Dallas or Philly in a playoff game this year, meaning either the Dallas Cowboys 10-3 or the 10-3 Philadelphia Eagles will have to travel to an NFC South stadium for the playoffs. And Taylor, if it's not Dallas, I will be shocked given the combined record of opponents left. So the Eagles have at Seattle, Giants, Arizona, at Giants. Combined record of 17-33. With that Seattle being tough, but everyone else looking very winnable. Dallas has to go to Buffalo, to Miami, home versus Detroit, then to Washington. Combined record of 29-22. So get ready, Taylor. You may get to watch your Cowboys live in the Superdome in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it may happen. It happened with Dallas last year when Tom Brady and the Buccaneers hosted them, and they had a losing record. Dallas wound up winning that game, but yeah, they were on the road for an NFC South team last year as well.
I want the Saints to end up with Jayden Daniels and for it to be the start of a new era of greatness and all this other sorts of stuff. But if I can't have that, Santa Claus, I will take the Saints ruining the Dallas Cowboys' epic season with a beastquake level of upset in the first round of the playoffs.
Hey, it can happen. I was on an 8-8 team that beat a 12-4 Peyton Manning-led Colts team in San Diego. We hosted.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, it could happen. Look, I got to be honest. I'm not as concerned about the Cowboys' remaining schedule as a lot of people are. The Bills are not what they were last year. The Dolphins are not good against good teams, and the Lions are kind of fading as well. So
Dolphins are good at home, though.
They're tough. It's a winnable schedule, though.
And the Bills have Joe Brady, so you know.
They do.
Yeah.
Factual.
Hour 3 coming up. Weekend winners.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Roofing spots the damage, makes the claim, and replaces your roof. You pay only your insurance deductible. Never anything more. Call Ryson Roofing today and schedule your free inspection. 330-3513.
RysonRoofing.com.
Where can you find a reliable roofing contractor you can trust? Top Team Roofing and Construction. They know the secret to getting homeowners what they deserve from insurance companies. Call Jessica today, 571-1740. That's 571-1740. Online at thelatopteam.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, December 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 63. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners coming up next. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Ooh, Jay Glazer had a Jayden Daniels bit. I just came across. We will watch this and see if it's worth playing. Welcome back, OTB hour number 3 again. Skull Axer and GCX.com. Go check it out. Here, okay, yeah. Oof, jeez, sorry. I'm still getting in the flow. You know, after a week at Disney and really just staying like completely away from my phone and everything else, I am still kind of re-entering the atmosphere as I left Orlando at 5:30 a.m. yesterday to get back in time for Nutcracker rehearsal, which we made. And by the way, Nutcracker going down this weekend. You can still get tickets Sunday. I don't know about Saturday, but I'm in the Sunday shows. 2 o'clock is going to sell out. Only a couple left there, but we do got some seats at 6. So if anybody's looking for something fun to do for the holidays, for the family, Sunday at 6, come watch your boy as the Purple Party Dad. But really just come to watch because it's a super great production and it's beautiful and it's custom choreography now that's been going on in Baton Rouge for 30 years. And I mean, these young, talented dancers, well, they're just that. They're like so talented. It's awesome. It's going to be a great time. Coming out.
Are we allowed to come out?
What?
Are we allowed to come out?
Yes, I told you. If y'all don't disrupt the, if you buy your tickets and then you promise not to disrupt the show, yes.
Man, we can't
absolutely.
even get like some family tickets?
No, hell no, dude.
Family tickets?
Hell no, bro.
Or sweet tickets available or something?
I mean, come on. You're part of the play.
Yeah, I'm like a glorified extra though, you know.
Nah, like outside of like
I ain't Claire, I ain't Drosselmeyer, I'm not even Stahlbaum.
Outside of like the lady who like has a little kids running under her dress, like it's like her then T-Bob.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like that's like the hierarchy.
Yeah, it really is though, man. I can't wait to watch the entire show because I just see the party scene. That's what I'm rehearsing every time. But I'm getting excited, guys. Got a little bit of that nervous pre-show jitters going on.
You have an understudy?
I have a double. My man Jorge. He will be doing the Purple Father on Saturday. So shout out Jorge.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many shows are you doing?
Sunday at 2 and Sunday at 6.
Okay.
Yep. So if you want to come out on Sunday, again, there's tickets left for Sunday at 6. It's going to be a great time. It really is a ton of fun with the family. It's a beautiful production. It's very famous. It is, and again, it is unique to Baton Rouge. This is not the same version of Nutcracker that you may have seen in that old Macaulay Culkin movie, which I do like a lot, to be fair, or if you've seen it in the past. This is custom choreography that dates all the way back to the early 90s here, and it's beautiful. Daniel Basham, T-Bob, I've been going to the Baton Rouge Nutcracker for years now. Don't be the reason why I stop.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Whoa.
I know.
Wow. So I know you, and I know your personality, and I don't really see you get nervous. I've seen you in front of large crowds before. This is different, though. Typically, when you're in front,
absolutely nervous.
When you're in front of a crowd.
But I'm nervous for those things, too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't show it.
And then the adrenaline takes over. So I'm not scared of the moment. I'll be practicing a lot this week, continuing to get down the muscle memory. Prior preparation prevents poor performance and all that.
Yeah.
But no, I got major butterflies and jitters, and I'm excited. I mean, it's definitely going to be something I've never done before.
When we were in Boston this weekend, SiriusXM Pandora put on a concert, USAA was a part of it as well. Russell Dickerson, who's a big country star, and they invited their employees. So it was a big crowd, but not what it would be typically if he was playing somewhere else. But they wanted me and Ben Hartzog to introduce him.
Yeah.
And Ben is somebody that is very, very good, but he's always kind of been a little nervous to host, to go solo. Like if somebody's Comrex drops out, he's like sweaty palms.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you're going to do this. And he was like the guy who was going to talk first. And to watch him like on the side, like talk it through his head multiple times, bouncing up and down, getting himself like psyched up. He crushed it, by the way, but it was so much fun just to watch him and like his process of trying to talk himself into, I can do this. I can do this.
See, now that stuff I love. And I get nervous for that, but that stuff I love. I get most nervous about asking questions at press conferences. Hate it.
Really?
Hate it. I have no desire to ever ask another question at a press conference as long as I live. Yes, it is at the Kane Center, Craig, excuse me. It is downtown. It is the Baton Rouge Ballet. It's a fantastic organization. I've had so much fun. It is
you're gonna crush it. Yeah, I got full faith in you.
Even though one of my sons almost broke my nose last night in rehearsal. We were it's the part of the scene where, it's, oh, come on, kids, it's time to wake up. We've had a long carriage ride home. Come. And he was messing around, and I tried to pick him up, and he fell on his knees. And then so I bent over to pick him up again, and he hit a quick squat and leapt up as hard as he could. And when I tell you, I haven't been punched in the nose like that in years. I mean, in years, eyes watering. I thought I was going to come in here with two black eyes, fresh off of Disney, and it was going to be from my Nutcracker rehearsal, which would have been objectively the funniest outcome. I did avoid the black eyes, but the show must go on. He was like, oh, you guys, like, keep acting. Yeah, just got to walk off the stage. Oh, we got to go. We got to get out of here. Yeah, it was very fun. Let's do a little weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole thing.
All right, my first weekend winner, LSU. LSU becomes the 12th school with 3 Heisman winners in their history. I got to wonder, boys, off the top of our heads, I forgot to look this up when I wrote it down last night, but how many schools in the last 25 years, so since 99, how many schools can claim 3 natties and 2 Heisman winners?
Alabama for sure.
2.
What's
That's it. 2.
Yeah, right? That would be
because
that would be the
Alabama and LSU are the only ones to win 3 in the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the national titles is what gets it.
Because LSU's second to only Alabama national championships. A lot of teams with 2, but not 3.
Who else has won 2 Heismans in that time? Obviously
Oklahoma.
USC, Oklahoma. Still, the point is, cherish these times.
Yes.
What you're witnessing is not normal. And again, granted, I don't know where LSU ends up in this NIL era, how it changes things, but it's been a hell of a 25 years, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, without question. To go out there and to have 2 Heisman Trophy quarterbacks in like a 5-year span, if we would have told someone that in 2014, we'd have been laughed at, pointed at, and laughed at.
Yes.
Like, checked into a facility and laughed at.
Hard to fathom. That not a decade removed from the Les Miles years, you would have 2 Heisman quarterbacks.
Yeah. And like 2 that did things that people hadn't done before. You know
Crazy.
what I'm saying? And it wasn't because of like this, ultimate team success and they were just a quarterback. No, certainly they had team success with Joe, but it was, largely because he was doing things that nobody had done to that point. Weekend winner to everyone that won a state championship over the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very fortunate to do that a couple times, and it is an incredible journey to get to that point and to finish it off. Congratulations. My brothers, they both, my brother coaches at Calvary, the other coaches at Catholic, they both get state championships. So shout out to those schools as well. And how about this? I'm going to weekend winner for a Calvary player, Calvary lineman Heath Gross. Now, he got stepped on his face by a cleat, and it ripped off a part of his eyelid. Part of his eyelid. He's got, I've got the picture here. Like, he's got huge scars on his nose, on his face. You can see where his eyelid, part of his eyelid, is no longer there in the state championship game. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he stayed in the game and finished.
Heath.
Did he leave his helmet at home?
He stepped all over my God. He stepped all over my gross joke.
He did.
Still though, that's actually terrifying. Is Heath okay? Okay. He looks like a warrior right there. Shout out Heath. Hell yeah.
I think he went to the ER after the game. I don't know, but I've never heard of anyone losing part of their eyelid. And some of these face masks, if you get a cleat in there, I guess it's possible. I don't know.
I guess it was my question, like, how did this happen? Because, like, typically linemen, like, they don't have a big gap in between their bars on their face mask.
Oh,
right?
I'm reading it right now. Okay, so he had his helmet knocked up and then took a cleat to the face. It ripped a chunk out of an eyelid and busted his face and bridge of his nose. Yep.
Sounds intentional to me.
Yep.
You got your helmet pulled up at the same time.
So I got 2 teeth knocked out against Florida in 2004. Same situation. My helmet came up a little bit because it was a stretch run, I believe. And so I'm blocking the edge rusher. He pushes my helmet up. I go to the next level, the linebacker, and Channing Crowder just puts his helmet like right in the perfect spot. 2 teeth right here, just gone on the field somewhere in the swamp. Probably deep in the soil there now in the swamp.
Yeah, that happened to my old man's front 3 teeth are fake due to an old Bucks game, and one of them fell out for Thanksgiving. And again, there is nothing that makes a person's appearance or vibe change more than a random missing tooth. You go from looking like a respectable member of society to just somebody of questionable character who, like, can I trust this guy?
Does he have a meth lab in his trailer?
Yeah, exactly. My daughters were like a little freaked out. They didn't know what to do about it. It was it had me dying laughing, dude. Yeah. What you got, boys?
My first weekend winner is Grant Delpit. Reached a 3-year extension with the Browns,
Nice.
$36 million extension.
Okay.
Nice.
Good for him, because we know his last year at LSU, he played through a lot of pain. I was hoping that wouldn't affect his NFL career, and it didn't. I'd argue he's a really underrated player from that 2019 squad. I'm going to throw out a play for y'all, see if y'all remember when we played Auburn in 2019. Closest LSU came to losing that season. Grant Delpit ran down DJ Williams after he broke a 70-yard run towards the end of the second quarter, and Auburn settled for 3 on that drive. LSU wins the game by 3 points. Very few people remember that play, but I'll never forget it. That kind of speaks to the kind of player that Grant Delpit is. So he's my first weekend winner.
Nice. 2018, he might have been the best defensive player in the country for a large portion of that season. And so, 2019, he certainly made a lot of plays. But, it was a 2-year span where he was a really good player for LSU. And congrats to him. $30 million plus.
Life has a way of balancing out, right? LSU fans upset by Malik Neighbors, but Grant Delpit did win the Thorpe that year.
In 19, He should have won in 18, didn't. Wins it in 19.
All right, I'll save my other one because if I use that one first, y'all won't let me go again. So, weekend winner, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. If you know anything about this defense, you know how bad they are in the fourth quarter. They've blown multiple fourth quarter leads. They almost did it again, but they did not, and the Buccaneers won. So, shout out. That is their weekend winner for them not sucking as much as they normally do.
It's going to be the oddest-ass weekend winner I've ever heard
of
my
all the
entire
things
life.
this weekend.
I don't think you should get to go again.
Taylor,
I have another one.
I don't know that you should.
Taylor
either.
is a Bucks fan in the same way I'm a Heat fan.
Yeah.
Like, if he's not rooting for his same team, he's rooting for Baker and the Bucks.
Weird. Weekend winner, Tulane. They go out, and after losing Willie Fritz, they say, okay, you took the bag, go to Houston, go hang out with Fertitta, because we got Troy coach John Sumrall coming in, and I just saw a line. I didn't see the detail on the contract. I saw a line that Tulane did pay very well.
Yeah.
But look, Tulane's hot right now. They've been great the last 2 years, and getting Sumrall seems like a great way to continue that success, as he has led Troy to a 23-4 record in the last few years, back-to-back Sun Belt championships, and won the 2022 Cure Bowl against UTSA. He was Sun Belt Coach of the Year. Sumrall's been great. He's someone who had a lot of juice, and now he gets to take over a Tulane program that Willie Fritz has left in very good standing.
Outstanding place for Tulane to be right now. And Willie Fritz, I understand he went to Sam Houston State. He went to Georgia Southern. He goes to Tulane. He wants to challenge himself at a Power 5 school in the Big 12. Now, I think Tulane's a better program right now than Houston is, but I do understand it. Love Willie Fritz. Have all the respect in the world for him. But Tulane, I mean, they hired a dude. I mean, this is somebody. Remember, like Troy had always been Troy, but before Summerall got there, they had fallen off. Like there was a little bit of a fall off, and he goes and you win that league twice. Y'all know I have a lot of respect for the Sun Belt, James Madison, and they couldn't play in it. I get that, but James Madison, you've got ULL, you've got Appalachian State. I mean, you've got some real programs that have had some really good teams, and you win that league back to back. I think it's a big deal for Tulane.
I agree.
I'm going to go weekend winner for Kalen DeBoer, who won the Home Depot Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Because I thought he deserved it. And oftentimes this award would go to, like Jed Fish, who he would deserve to be up for consideration because Arizona was awful. They're 9-3. They're a top 15 team in the country. Or whoever you want to choose.
No, the real fear here was that we were all going to get gaslighted into choosing Nick Saban.
Nick Saban, yeah.
That was my fear.
Yeah.
Like, this man had the most talented team on paper that's ever been assembled, and yet we're like, what an incredible job he did.
Right.
But we avoided that, so I'm happy.
And other than even Eli Drinkwitz, who won the SEC Coach of the Year. Drink would make a lot of sense here, but, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer's won 20 straight games.
Yeah.
Washington was not in a good spot when he takes over that program. He has changed that program. They're in a better spot than they've been in a long time when they were winning a share of a national championship in the early 90s. So, I know they made the playoff there with Chris Peterson, but this program right now feels like that's not going to be what happens to them, where they have this 1 year and then maybe they go away and they come back. It feels like stability right now with Kalen DeBoer. All he's done, his coaching career, has been a winner. So I felt like he deserved it. So shout out, weekend winner.
Yeah, and a smaller guy who's won a bunch of championships at lower levels, now getting that ultimate Power 5 recognition.
Shout out to Jim Hawthorne, the voice of LSU athletics from 1979 to 2016. Today is his 80th birthday. We all have really happy memories synonymous with Jim's voice. Broadcasting legend, laid the foundation for Chris Blair, who's going to do the same for the new generation. We'll all remember the Morris home run and all the great football moments, the 2 national championships he got to do in football. Somebody who deserves to be remembered throughout LSU history. So happy birthday to Jim Hawthorne.
Jim Hawthorne, the reason I wanted to get into sports media.
Same.
Fun fact there.
Oh, nice.
Kind of the same reason I wanted to get into play-by-play broadcasting. And I was fortunate enough when I was in college to kind of develop a relationship with him that I had to this day. So shout out to Jim.
All right, guys, I got another weekend winner.
Go ahead.
Dallas Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey.
That's cool story.
He is 30 for 30 on field goal attempts this year. He's yet to miss. He's a soccer background. He was in the USFL last year. Last night in a must-win game, he hit from 59, from 60, from 46, and from 50 to go 4 for 4 against the Philadelphia Eagles. He's having an incredible season. Again, 30 for 30 on field goals. I know that because the a-hole broadcasters are always like, this guy hasn't missed a kick all year, and they only say it about 4 times before every kick. But the jinx hadn't got him yet. Knock on wood. He's been phenomenal. So weekend winner, Brandon Aubrey.
Weekend loser, the referees in the Chiefs game. I don't know that I agree that he was clearly offsides. I agree with Pat Mahomes. That play was awesome. The fact that play doesn't exist anymore, that lateral was it was just fantastic. I don't know. I think the refs are wrong for this one.
Yeah, we talked about it during one of the breaks. You could call a 0 nose or a 3 shade for this almost every single play on the defensive side of the football. They very rarely, if ever, call it. It never gets called on the offensive side. Now, I would say, like Kadarius Toney, like we were talking about, hey, make sure point to the official, make sure that you're there. But again, this is something that happens.
I'm still not convinced he's even offsides.
Guys, his whole body was over the ball. I mean,
well,
he was offside.
Also, the edge rusher, I believe it was, is that Von Miller? I don't even know. 40 for the Bills. I mean, he's got his head breaking the plane as well.
Yeah, I think it's a ticky-tack call.
I just think it's a bad look when the coach and quarterback call out the refs for technically making the correct call. That's where I'm.
Would it be a bad? I mean, I don't know. I'm struggling to parse through. I don't know how.
Look, it's very off-brand for both of them. I'm not saying they're repeat offenders or anything. They never do anything like this. It's just I was a little surprised. I was like,
first off, Andy Reid's. Seems like one of the nicest
100%.
Mormon human beings on the planet. Like, if he's upset, then I think that's, what. But then also, I don't know. We've seen Tom Brady freak out all the time, and I don't know if it's because it's not normal for Patrick Mahomes to do this.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
I've never seen. But I guess my point
Brady,
was like
Brady slammed that Microsoft Surface. It was like losing his mind.
Oh yeah.
On the
No, I'm saying I've never
everything.
seen that from Mahomes.
Oh, from Mahomes. Yes.
I saw Brady do it.
I don't like how he like publicly called out the refs for making the correct call.
Oh,
I just didn't like it.
I do.
If it would have been a blown call, 100%. He had a gripe last week on the no pass interference call on their wide receiver.
And that's what it is. It's building up.
Yeah, it's built up. It's pent up emotion. I get it, but I don't know. I'd be like you could have held it in another week.
I mean, I'd be really pissed at Kadarius Toney if I'm a Chiefs fan. He's had a terrible season. He's kind of made
for
him
like 3 of these.
He's kind of made him lose multiple games, and I remember a bunch of Giants fans being really upset whenever they took him out of Florida because there were questions, and then his new team, the Chiefs, were upset whenever they picked him up, and I have no idea why they made that acquisition.
I mean, because he's really talented. I mean, he'll make some plays, but he'll do things, like this.
Typical
obviously.
Florida player.
So, well, if the cleat fits.
If it doesn't, just throw it out.
Yep.
Taylor, you're a weekend loser for hating Dak Prescott, and he may win MVP.
Again, I have changed my tune completely on Dak Prescott. I said last week that if he continues to play like this, all is forgotten. T-Bob, I wish you would have been in the room last night for his fumble that was returned for a touchdown. You would have loved my reaction.
I bet.
My wife looks over at me like she's ready for me to explode, and I just sat there and I was like, not that mad. And she's like, why? I was like, because he usually turns the ball way more than this. Like, I'll give him one.
Wow.
And I was calm. I'm good right now. Keep playing the way you are. I'm good.
Wow, it looks like that sharp knife has been dulled a bit. All right, when we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Get Gordon and get it done. Look, man, you need somebody who's going to fight for you, get you what you deserve this holiday season. You get an accident, where do you turn? You turn to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 225-888-8888. Any area code in Louisiana, then plus the 8s will get you in touch with who you need. And look, the experienced teams at Gordon's been doing this for a long time, y'all, very successfully. And so, again, you need somebody who's going to fight for you. Don't be afraid of the big insurance companies, okay? Gordon's in your corner, and they're going to get it done for you. Go to getgordon.com. Follow them on social media at getgordon. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorney.
Yeah, when you go to the website, remember you can do a lot of different things, like get that consultation set up, free consultation, top right corner of the website. You can have a live chat with them on the website. You can find a list of cases they can handle for you on the website. Also, past client results on the website. So it's a great tool for you. GetGordon.com again. And always, like T-Bob said, on social media, at GetGordon is going to be that handle across the board. Area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch. We are at Walk-Ons in Brewley, wrapping up the weekend and the Heisman Trophy. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Should have known it when that man went to eat at Chipotle. What are we going to do? Mario, how are we feeling about the midseason tournament? Do you hate it now more than ever?
No, honestly.
After there was like some hype, obviously the Pelicans making it to the semis, going to Vegas. It was all awesome. But all they did was set up the Lakers for success.
Yeah, I'll get the argument that the tournament shouldn't exist from the first place. I was very vocal about it on the show, but it was fun. Like if you like NBA basketball, if you like, high stakes, quote unquote, competitive NBA basketball, it was a lot of fun from the quarterfinals onwards.
I thought the courts were cool.
There you go. The courts were
That's
cool.
about all I got for it. Yeah.
Well, it's still happening during football season. So if you don't love the NBA, then you're not going to be checked in anyway.
I was hoping for the Pacers because they have a roster that, honestly, no joke, could have used the money.
Yeah,
I mean, their roster, I think they have, like T-Bob, like 8 or 9 players that make less than $3 million per year, and you would have got, what, $500,000 per player?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, like some of their contracts are about to be extended too. They showed it the other day. Miles Turner's 28 years old, and he's the 3rd oldest player on their team.
Yeah.
So like their team's young too.
You're talking about some real money. I mean, for those players like LeBron.
Yeah, for LeBron and AD.
$500,000 ain't nothing.
For LeBron and AD, that don't mean, especially for Bron, but for AD, that don't.
Our
Shohei
Ohtani. Oh my God. Oh God. 10 years, $700 million. I think somebody put it together like the A's. It was like the A's last 10 years of salaries combined was less than what he's going to make. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, dude. That's crazy. That's like hard to wrap your head around. I would on the Tony thing, real quick. A little question to ask yourself is: if it was not called, would there be controversy? If you just want to kind of an interesting thought exercise, because I don't think anybody would have pointed anything out. You maybe would have had a couple of angry Bills fans on Twitter screenshotting it and doing the old. I mean, there's nothing I love more than a still picture used to incite anger, like Georgia fans with the catch before half on 4th down, which I believe at halftime in the SEC Championship, they came back and said that should not have been a catch, right? It should have been reviewed and ruled no catch.
I believe so. Yeah.
Huh. They didn't. Who was the beneficiary? Oh, Alabama. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told Georgia fans on Snaps, this is what we always say around these parts. Where are those offices again? Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. The one thing that I'm mad about, too, is that Greg Sankey's smugness did not blow up in his face. Did you see the quotes that were going into that game on Saturday where he was talking about how, look, the SC winner's getting in. Like, this is not Sesame Street, blah, blah, blah.
He did that, and then he came and sat next to me, and we had him on. He was talking about those comments.
And yeah.
Well, I mean, but obviously, like
he was right.
He's one of the smartest people that I've ever sat down and talked with. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew the audience that he was talking to, and that is his job, is to make the SEC be as powerful as it can be. And so
I think he already had the hay in the barn. I think he had already done all the politicking, and he had it on pretty good authority that they were going to get the SEC champion in no matter what. I don't think it was deserving.
But T, and I know you were out, so we hadn't had this conversation. When I left Mercedes Stadium on Saturday of the SEC championship game, I'm with a bunch of people that worked for the network, and they're like, "Is our season done?" Like there was a real belief from a lot of people that the SEC could be left out. So I know a lot of people are like, "Of course," but I'm telling you, there was, I mean, Alabama fans, Georgia fans, people that cover both those teams, that thought that the SEC was going to get left out.
Nookie says T-Bob's still holding on tightly to the playoff selection. No, look, I think like I mentioned earlier on, I think it's like, you very clearly, it proves everybody, like, honestly, like Matt Wright, who's been yelling about like this, the regular season of college football doesn't matter because you have the selection committee and all that. Well, yeah, it proved all that right? I mean, Alabama making it, I do believe is unjust. If I was Florida State, I'd be beside myself with anger. But again, it's just like politics, stuff that frustrates you in work or stuff in your everyday life, right? Like something wrong happens, you get mad about it, you weep and you kick and stamp and you gnash teeth, and then you just resignedly accept it and you keep it moving. Because you can't really affect anything in the political realm. You need the job. Or like me with college football, you just love it too much. And so you just eat the crap that they serve you, right? And so, no, like I said, I do think it's ugly. It reminds me a bit of Wizard of Oz. They pulled back the curtain, in which looked like this great and powerful regular season feels much less than, and just like Oz, it's just an old guy behind a curtain at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's also a good life lesson. Whereas, I think I saw a tweet to this effect. I thought it was very funny. Like, no matter how hard you work, at the end of the day, your fate will likely just be decided by a bunch of old men in a room. Which, I'd say that's pretty representative of America in a lot of ways.
If you see two, if we're in the future, just 1 year, two SEC, two Big Ten teams in the playoff, the ACC champ, undefeated, got left out. If you're Florida State, if you're Clemson, if you're Miami, what is keeping you in the ACC right now? What is keeping you from not, whatever the penalty is, whatever the grant of right, I know, but whatever the grant of rights is, well, you're going to make it up eventually. Do you, pull the trigger? Do you, grab on and hold on tightly for a couple of years, knowing that you're going to lose out on some money, knowing you just lost out, by the way, on millions of dollars for not making the playoff?
Yeah.
Let's not act like that didn't happen. So do you say, you know what, if we just win our league, we're Florida State, and we can't get into the college football playoff for whatever reason, whatever narrative was chosen why they didn't make that playoff, how are you confident right now in the league that you play in? And listen, I know that we're about to expand. And you're like, well, it's never going to happen again. I understand that, but still, they are showing you that there's two conferences that matter, and you're not in one of those conferences.
I agree. Jeff G says, so T-Bob, you really think Bama or Georgia is in a top 4 team? That is kind of my entire point, right? And I said this pre-selection. I ended up landing here after much rumination. Check any of the tapes you want. But ultimately, this idea of best team, it's subjective. It is subject. It is your opinion. We watch a sport where crazy, unexpected stuff happens all the time.
I think in 2006 at LSU, we were, by the end of the year, I think we were one of the 2 best teams in the country. But you know what? We didn't handle our business.
Yeah.
When we had to, so we weren't undefeated.
Well, and so it's a deal where, okay, we can all know who the best teams probably are. And if we play the games 10 times, maybe they win 8, but you only play it once, and you never know what happens then. So in a world where TCU beats Michigan, in a world where Auburn takes Alabama down to the wire, in a world where everybody tells us all year long Oregon shouldn't have lost to Washington in the first place, they're going to win the rematch and then loses again. No, miss me with your best team arguments. And again, for the eye test Andes, how in the hell? I don't need to justify the eye test. I don't need to justify any close wins for Florida State like the Boston College game or anything. I don't need to because I'm not using the eye test. I'm being objective. I'm looking at results. For any of you eye test Andes, how in the world do you explain Alabama looking like complete garbage against Auburn and then come back in the SEC championship. Like, so you're going to tell me, what if they had a garbage day like Auburn? You're going to tell me that Florida State defense wasn't capable of creating a win? Because I'm going to tell you you're effing crazy. Okay? So, no, miss me. And it's wrong and it's unjust. And Florida State got completely screwed. But, hey, Nick Saban's, he's a god for a reason. I just hate that. And now, look, Alabama's very good. And so maybe they go on to win a natty. But what Alabama does consistently get is opportunity where others do not. And you can't win a national championship if you never get the opportunity to do so. And so you have this weird circular self-fulfilling prophecy where Alabama keeps getting the benefit of the doubt. And granted, they generally do well when they do, but but we'll never know what would have happened in these hypotheticals if other teams got the same benefit of the doubt. But whatever, I can't wait. I mean, Michigan and Alabama's going to be tight. I'm excited to watch. So.
Oh, I'm more.
I'm the sucker.
I think I'm more excited for Washington, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for both.
I mean, just offensive battle. I can see that game being 38-35 without question. And I think Texas' rush defense is really good. But when you have to cover so many things, all the weapons that Penix has on the outside, it opens up rushing lanes. And Dylan Johnson's been taking advantage of those. So I am excited about, both games because I want to see who's more physical out west in the Rose Bowl. But as a fan of offensive football, I just want to see points scored.
Craig Ranger says Washington gets skull dragged by Kentucky or Auburn for that matter. Craig, I love you, but that might be the worst take that's ever been typed in this chat, and that is saying something. Bilbo, to be honest, FSU's looked terrible down the stretch. This is something that infuriates me. How in the world are we acting like beating a top 15 Louisville team with your third-string quarterback by 10 points in a must-have-it game, all of your dreams and hopes in line? How are we acting like that's a bad performance?
They covered the spread in both those games.
It was incredible. You should not be able to do what they did against a quality. They played a game of football without a quarterback, a conference championship, and won it.
We were talking last week, T-Bob, when you were out, and we were like, Florida State got punished for finding different ways to win football games. Yeah. Like you said, you had your third string, your defense stepped up, your running game stepped up when it needed to. Like, that kind of shows me they're more of a complete football team, not less. Yes. But, like, it was kind of held against them for a weird reason.
Yeah. And also, look, when you win, okay, so Florida State's won 19 games in a row. Washington has now won 20 games in a row. When you have long winning streaks like that, you know what you're going to have as well as some clunkers. Like, you're going to have some that you got to find a way. Did Georgia not have probably 4 or 5 of those in their 30-game win streak?
Georgia was a trumped-up offensive fraud kind of this entire season. Now, at least, I think injuries played a part, but yeah. But yes, no, Georgia did, for sure.
Yeah, South Carolina, Auburn, hell, Georgia Tech at the end was a one-score game. So you're going to have some of those in a long winning streak.
Imagine if we just honored the wins, right? I mean, why does Alabama get benefit of the eye test but not penalized by it? Needing a 4th and 31 miracle play against Auburn doesn't hurt them, but then everybody just says they're best because they have more talent on the roster, more blue chips than anybody else. Just let Vegas choose the Final Four before the season starts. Whatever.
Well, no, but Vegas told us, and all these Vegas people, all of our guys, all of our guys that Washington's going to lose by double digits maybe.
Trust me, bro.
To Oregon.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So dismiss me with any best team arguments. When you say best, the implication, the parentheses is best teams in my opinion. That's my problem with it. So
it was also funny how like they put Florida State at 5 because they were like, Bama barely beat Georgia. You might be better than Georgia, but you're like a point less than Alabama. Like that was always funny to me. It's like, let's put them at 5th.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
What's the point of that?
If we're just going by eye test, then like,
Wouldn't
Vegas
Georgia be better
Georgia
as well?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's all sort of inconsistencies. Jeff G, if T-Bob Bama wins an Natty, you change your tune? No, that's the point. That's what I hate, is that Florida State may go out there and lay an egg in this bowl game, because why wouldn't they? Where's the motivation? All this other for 7. Everybody's like, we told you so, and Bama may win there. We told you so. No, they are given opportunity that is unearned. Now, maybe they do the most of that opportunity, but they were still given a benefit of the doubt, which they shouldn't, which is setting them up for success. All right, I've said my piece. I'm done. It is Coy Moore's fault. I agree.
He did muff the punt.
And the DC, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, what are you doing?
All right. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Saints and Panthers, and strike a pose, Jayden. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Hey, do want to remind you to go to RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You're feeling a little less than. You want to reach your full potential. You want to go to Rejuve Me Medical, where you get that youthful feeling back, man. Doesn't matter if it's, if andropause, menopause, facial aging, your workout's not paying off like they used to, weight gain, any of that, right? Maybe HRT's for you. Maybe semaglutides for you. Maybe it's not. The point is go and Rejuve me, get your labs drawn, figure out exactly what's going on in your body, and let them customize a plan for you. And I don't care if you're listening to this, 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't care, male, female, anybody who feels like they're not their best self, go to Rejuve me, and they can help get you there. I was feeling pretty damn good at Disney this week, walking about 8 to 10 miles a day with a 30-pound baby strapped to my chest.
Yeah.
It was
Little
very
baby
fun.
Bobby.
The older I get, I'm like terrified of back injuries. Like I really don't want to slip a disc or something, so I was being super cognizant of my posture the entire time, right? I engaged the core, shoulders back, and it was crazy. Like at first it was kind of hard. By the end of the week, I was carrying that thing around like it was nothing, man. I got to say too, boys. Again, I just love Disney. I just love it.
You do.
And I figured out what it is. Look, the rides are great. They're all fun. The vibes are great. It's cool seeing all the sets and everything. But the real value is truly in just being present with your kids in a way that you just are not in everyday life because you're tired from work or this or that or whatever. And I know that happens with any travel, right? Like I brought all the kids to New York City before. I've done stuff like that. And it's there's an element of that presence, but it's still different. I don't know if it's the fact that like you feel pretty safe in the park or kind of there's so much taken care of you or everything caters to kids, or I don't know what it is. There is just a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to how much fun I have with the chillins. Like I got to spend more time with Quad Bob than I have probably his entire life, right? Me and my 5-year-old riding Guardians and Tron and everything. My 3-year-old getting her princess makeup done at the Bibbidi Bop Boutique. It's just like, dude, every single day, staying out late. Everybody's they're tired. They're vacillating at some points between like throwing fits or being grumpy or blah, 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 blah. But we're just having fun and we're all together. And it's, I love it. And I love those Epcot beers. Ooh, those Epcot beers go down so good, dude.
We talked about it. Ass beers?
Yep. Had some ass beers in Norway. Bunch of those.
Yep.
The white ale out of Norway is also delicious. La Fin du Mont in Canada. I've always loved La Fin du Mont. You can't always get everywhere. Hell, even Bell's Castle has Chimay Blue, which you can never find Chimay Blue anywhere.
I'm going to be honest. I'm incredibly jealous that you got to spend that time with your family.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Lately when I've been taking vacation days from work, it's been to go work.
Yeah.
And so I am looking forward to. I don't know when it's going to happen with all the events that we all have coming up here, but I am very jealous. Would love to take like 7 days of just family vacation and just get away from sports just for 7 days.
I agree, and that's what I did, and it was great to be checked out. And my wife actually lost her phone in the beginning, so I had her phone the entire time, or she had my phone, so I was like really just not engaged at all. It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, when we get back, wrap up the show, a little Ask the Bench. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 56 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corval Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Oshner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hurry into your local Acura dealer for the Season of Performance event going on now.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. All the recap and reaction from Heisman weekend in New York, and we'll recap Saints and Panthers. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Been a very fun show. Ask the Bench is brought to you by Cold Kurzite, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Jake, I do not actually have my chat brought up. Do you?
I can very quickly here. Let's go.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure. You good?
Yes.
Ask the Bench, could LSU make a run at a national championship if it was a 12-team playoff this year?
No, defense isn't good enough.
Defensive issues. The offense would keep you in every game, give you an opportunity in every game. I just don't know that the defense could stop some of these offenses that are left.
Also, with that group of 5 qualifier, I'm not sure LSU gets into a 12-team playoff.
I think that's what they're saying. It's because they're right on the edge of 13. If they moved up 2 spots to 11, if they win the Ole Miss game, they would have been in a spot for it. They could win a game in any playoff. And again, the offense is so dynamic they keep you in the games. But I don't have a lot of faith that the defense could go make a deep run.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, by the way, I mentioned in weekend winners, but Bilbo pointed out in the chat that Emil placed a $100 bet on Jayden Daniels to win Heisman at plus 3,000 odds earlier in the season. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's a big dub. Thanks, your friends at DraftKings. Remember, if you want to gamble, you want to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. That is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge when you sign up. And guess what, NBA fans? You bet $5 on basketball, you get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Okay, win or lose, it doesn't matter. And remember, DraftKings is always secure. It's safe, reliable. They get 24/7 support. You can take out your cash, deposit it whenever you want. Download DraftKings apps now. Promo code Baton Rouge for new customers. $5 in basketball gets you $150 in bonus bets instantly. But Also remember, it's not just new. If you're a returning customer, every NFL game day, they got great deals, boosts, everything going on, same game parlays, multi-game parlays. It's all there for you on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. Must be 21 or older. Physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Licensee partner, Golden Lake Charles. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply. Bonus spec expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Glad to be back, boys. Looking forward to this week. Ask the bench who would ring the bell first if you were training with Navy SEALs. I would. I would step out there, do one sit-up, and I'd say, nah, fam.
I don't know about that. I've seen you work hard.
I'm out of here. Later.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.